The scene and the circumstances are familiar. An almost painfully cold day alongside Lake Erie. A big game about to begin. Welcome to Cleveland Stadium, where today the Colts and Browns meet in the playoffs for the first time in 16 seasons. The year was 1971. Remember?
So bye-bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. And them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this'll be the day that I die. This'll be the day that I die. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? If the Bible tells you so. Do you believe in rock and roll? Can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Well, I know that you're in love with him, 'cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes.
These days, the Colts receive their mail in Indianapolis, where Ron Myers turned an 0-13 team into a playoff qualifier. They jumped to the top in the AFC East after the midseason acquisition of Eric Dickerson. A strong kicking game and aggressive young defense contributed to a 9-6 record. Just a month ago in this very ballpark, the Colts upset the Browns as they throttled Bernie Kosar. But Kosar is the AFC's leading passer. And the oddsmakers say today, he, Webster Slaughter, and Ozzie Newsome will exact their revenge. Schottenheimer's Browns are favored by more than a touchdown. Pro Bowlers Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield lead Cleveland's dog defense, and they've got a bone to pick with the Colts. Coming up, the countdown to a canine commotion in Cleveland. Where the mercury sits at 15 degrees a half hour before kickoff, the wind chill makes it feel like 4, and the weatherman says, yes, there are some snow flurries in the forecast. The Cleveland fans are the very picture of gentility as they welcome the Colts back for the second time in a month for this divisional playoff game. Hi again, everybody. I'm Bob Costas here in the studio with us, Gail Gardner and Coach Don Shula. You'll hear from them shortly. But first of all, let's go right to the scene, to Cleveland, to get reports from Ahmad Rashad and Paul McGuire, beginning with Ahmad, Nanook of the North, Rashad.
Thanks, Bob. It is a beautiful day here in Cleveland. The weather's about 15 degrees, but the thing that most of the players are worried about is the wind factor, and there seems to be no wind at this time. Now, as far as injuries goes, you know that Gary Hogan won't play for the Colts, and Bob Golick won't play for the Cleveland Browns, but aside from that, both teams are pretty much at full strength. Field conditions? Well, most people in the country think that in the National Football League, they play on 2 types of surfaces, AstroTurf and grass. Well, this is the 3rd type of surface. This is called painted green dirt. Now, I know to you all watching on television, it looks like a freshly manicured lawn, but take my word for it, this is freshly green painted dirt. Now, as far as traction, most of the players will wear some sort of a turf shoe because it's very hard, and cleats, you really can't dig in to get any traction. Now, I've been in front of a locker room the last few weeks. I'm not there today because I realize that the atmosphere in the locker room has nothing to do with the way a team plays out here in the field. That's the good thing about football. Games are won and lost on the field. Has nothing to do with the atmosphere in the locker room. But now, try to tell Paul McGuire that? No, he won't listen. I think he's in there because it's warm. But let's go to Paul, who's outside the Cleveland locker room with Coach Marty Schottenheimer.
Thank you, Ahmad. I tried in the past to talk to players outside the locker room. They keep telling me the same thing. Yeah, we're going to win, and yeah, we can stop this guy, and yeah, we can beat that guy. So what I did is go to the head coach, Marty Schottenheimer. Marty, what about Dickerson? Can you stop Dickerson?
Well, I'm not sure that you can totally stop Eric Dickerson. He's an outstanding player, not unlike a great center in the NBA. Those players tend to get their points, and Eric's going to get his yards. I think, however, the key to it, to whatever success you might have, Paul, would be to get your 11 defenders against their 10 players. And obviously the absence of the quarterback is the one man missing in the offense. We've played against a lot of very good backs. In my mind, this guy is in a class by himself. His speed is the thing I think that poses the greatest concern, because if you give him a little daylight, he can hit that overdrive in one step and be gone. But basically, as we look at it, we've talked all week about working with our 11 against their 10, and that's going to have to be the way we do it.
I talked to Bernie Kosar before the game, and quickly, he said to me, Paul, we've got a much better game plan this time against the Colts, which you played here and lost 9-7.
Well, I think this, Paul, that they did an excellent job in their secondary last time defending us. There was some coverages there that we frankly didn't anticipate, and as a result, we didn't get our routes run maybe the way we'd like to, and we've made some adjustments for this one, and hopefully we can get that done.
Thank you, Marty. Robert, back to you.
Thanks, Paul. Coach, Marty Schottenheimer talked about stopping Dickerson. It's tough to do, but the weather might do it. Some people say he's a bad pressure back. I think most knowledgeable NFL observers believe he's simply a poor cold weather back. But in any case, in his last 2 playoff games for the Rams against Washington and the Bears, he fumbled a total of 5 times in cold weather.
But he's only fumbled 4 times this year, and I think that he feels that he's in this. This is a whole new start, a new ball club, and he wants to forget about those fumbles in the past and see what happens today. There are a couple of shots that we have of Dickerson that shows you how important he is to this football team. He is the final piece to this puzzle. This is a basic play that everybody runs in the National Football League with the off tackle and guard pulling. It's a misdirection play designed to start left and then come to the right. You can see now that Dickerson will step left, the guard and the tackle pull, but the penetration by the Tampa Bay defensive lineman is such that when Dickerson sees it, he decides to go the opposite way. He picks up some linemen over there, and in no time at all, he's into the end zone, 35 yards and a touchdown. There aren't many backs in the National Football League that can make that play go.
Of course, he's running behind a great offensive line, and that's frequently overlooked. Just as he had Hara and Slater with the Rams, now he's got 3 Pro Bowlers. Donaldson, the center, and he's got Hinton and Salt as well.
Well, they've carefully built this football team. They started with the offensive line. They've used some of their top draft choices to pick up defensive people. 5 number 1s playing defensively, 4 of them taken in the early part of the draft, the first 3 or 4 or 5 players taken. So they built their defense, and there are some shots of their defensive backs with good pressure on the quarterback, sitting back and intercepting the ball in critical situations. They're number 2 in pass defense in the AFC.
Now, to get that pressure on the quarterback, they need to blitz the linebackers. They're down linemen playing out of a 3-4. They don't get that many sacks. But Cooks and Bickett from the linebacker spot, huge outside linebackers and fast despite the size, they're really a key factor.
Right. You have to have big linebackers when you use a 3-man line because you're not going to get pressure with the down 3 defensive linemen. So they send their outside linebackers with 4 people going after the quarterback, sometimes 5 people going after the quarterback to get that pressure, and then the defensive backs sit back there. They do a good job of playing the zones. They mix enough man coverage in there to keep you honest.
Now, how about Kosar? Everybody says this guy doesn't look like a good player, but the results and the numbers say he's one of the best.
Right. He's top-rated in the AFC, and there are some pretty good quarterbacks in the AFC. But here's a great shot of Kosar going back, and he works hard on the overarm delivery. But watch this. At the heat of the battle, he lets it go off balance, sidearm, down the field. Now, you can see by the expression here that the results had to be positive. And that's the important thing. That's how quarterbacks are judged, by whether they can make the play or not make the play, as opposed to whether they throw it overhand or throw it sidearm.
He's not very mobile. What is it that sets him apart?
His intelligence. He's a brilliant guy. He knows what to do with the football. That's the most important thing that a quarterback has to be able to do. Know what to do with the football in a critical situation.
Thanks, Coach, and we'll check with you later in the show. When we come back, Gail Gardner on the Colts galloping back to glory. They're in the playoffs for the first time since 1977. NFL Live is brought to you by the new Audi 90. It's everything you hoped driving would be. By Taco Bell. Say hello to fresh, exciting taste. Just say hello, Taco Bell. And by Sure Antiperspirant. Get sure and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness. Welcome back to Cleveland. Eric Dickerson hung in effigy by the Browns fans in December in the Colts' upset win over Cleveland. Dickerson had 98 yards, and he topped 1,000 in just 9 games after coming to Indianapolis from the Rams. Well, we told you at the beginning of the show that the Colts and Browns haven't met in the playoffs since 1971. But this is the first Colts postseason action of any kind in more than a decade. Back in the days when Burt Jones was the quarterback and, of course, Gail Gardner, they operated out of Baltimore.
They operated out of Baltimore. The years in between, though, have been very depressing ones, as you probably know, for both the players and for the fans in both Baltimore and Indianapolis. And, you know, Bob, Colts linebacker Barry Krause reminded me this week of the years that we both worked in Baltimore, how the players literally used to run away from the press because they could no longer bear talking about losing week in and week out. 10 years of hiding and licking wounds. Ironically, the man who has changed things has done a good deal of his own soul searching, because sometimes you have to take a long, hard look at where you've been to understand where you're going. The year was 1977. The Colts were in the playoffs. Burt Jones was throwing passes to Roger Carr, and all was right with the world. Unless you viewed the small plane that crashed into Memorial Stadium in late '76 as an omen of the times ahead. The once proud wearers of the horseshoe helmets stumbled their way through a continuum of losing seasons. Not Mike McCormick, not Frank Cush, not Rod Dowhower could change the course. Bob Irsay set new standards for erratic ownership.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you.
Art Schleister's gambling problems became national news. Top draft pick John Elway refused to play in Baltimore. Irsay later agreed with Elway and made the infamous Mayflower midnight move to Indianapolis. Veteran fullback Randy McMillan was seriously injured in an automobile accident. Top draft pick Cornelius Bennett refused to sign. Truly a decade of disaster until Ron Meyer turned the tide and the Colts are in the playoffs once again. A handful of players remain from those Baltimore years. They appreciate the sudden prosperity, but they have been put through the ringer to get here.
When I was back in Baltimore, I had just about come to the conclusion that if this is what it's going to be like, I don't want to play it anymore because I've lost the desire.
You go into games and you'd be up at halftime and one or another or several things would happen and you'd end up losing the game. It's like you shake yourself and you kind of go, what's the deal? Are we really losers?
I'll go places and tell people I play for the Indianapolis Colts. The first thing is they want to ask me, but do you play teams like the Bears or the Giants? And, that hurts a lot. It's like we're not even in the National Football League.
The savior is a man who turned around losing programs before at Nevada, Las Vegas, and SMU. Ron Meyer took the Patriots to the playoffs in '82. He and the Pats parted ways in '84, and he was out of coaching until the call came from the Colts.
I thought I compromised too much. And probably really didn't relax, and kind of overawed by the whole thing to a certain degree. Not always. I think here I figured out, well, I've been fired once, so why not do it my way and have a little fun, relax, and let's see if we can win some football games.
Ron Myers made it simple. It was like if they score 5 touchdowns, we need to score 6, and let's find a way to get it done.
He came in making us believe in ourselves and believe that we're winners, and he himself shows that. He's a winner.
To see the Krauses, the Glasgows, the Donnell Thompson, several of these players having experienced the downside of professional football, and I really don't think there's anything lower. And now to see them reap some of the benefits and hopefully take a shot at this thing. And I told them, catch lightning in a jug. It is really going to be fun.
Meyer's players are effusive in their praise of him, and it's really hard to believe this is the same coach who was literally run out of New England by the Patriots veterans. And it is not simply that his motivational style works better with the younger Colts, but that, Bob, he truly has changed.
Thanks, Gail. And when we come back, we're going to send Ahmad Rashad into the corner to find out about Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield. The Colts hope their bark is worse than their bite today. Stay with us as NFL Live continues. Bob Golick with the broken arm and broken-hearted about it. He can't start at nose tackle today for the Browns. Dave Pizzulli, the veteran, fills in for him. However, the Browns can breathe a sigh of relief. They are not without either of their key operatives on the corners, Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield. To get the lowdown on them, we go back to Cleveland, and I like a man who comes prepared. Ahmad Rashad's wardrobe people have provided ample protection against the blustery cold at Cleveland Stadium today. Take it, my man.
Did I say it was a beautiful day for football? It is a beautiful day for football. Not so beautiful to be standing out here on these sidelines, though. Now, the playoffs is a time of pressure. and there's pressure on everybody who's on the football field. But for the cornerback, the pressure never changes. It even escalates during a playoff situation. And if you think about a guy's job where the player that he has to cover knows exactly where he's going, but for the cornerback, the only thing he can do is react.
The forward pass is the most exciting play in football. The men who catch these passes are usually the men who get all the glory. The men who defend against the pass very seldom get any recognition at all, unless they're the very best. And the Cleveland Browns have two of the best in the business, Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield.
The position of cornerback may be the toughest position on a football field. If it's not the toughest, it's certainly the one with the most pressure. You see, you could be perfect all day, and one slip could cost your team the ball game. Now, not only is this position a tough one with a lot of pressure, it's also a very lonely position.
For a touchdown myself, it doesn't bother me because I know every now and then you're going to get beat for a touchdown. You're going to lose the battle, but the thing about it, you can't lose too many of them, and it can't happen often. And you just have to have a short memory. But I love the excitement of one-on-one with a guy with a Jerry Rice type caliber receiver, and it's like man to man, beat me if you can.
I would rather play a guy from Denver or a guy from Houston, a guy that I know has blazing speed, and a guy that I know that can beat me at any time, a guy that I'm going to be psyched up, pumped up as soon as I hit the field, and knowing that Frank Minifield is going to play a tremendous ball game when it's all over with.
Nobody knows it, and nobody cares, 'cause there's no hiding place. There's no hiding place.
In college, I used to have a saying up over my locker. I used to have a saying that said, defensive backs, they dream, they live, and they play alone. And that's the way I feel about it.
I think the worst thing that a corner could do is lose his confidence, and I don't think that'll ever happen to me because I have a lot of confidence in myself, and I think that I'm a pretty good defensive back. And see, defensive backs, especially a corner, thrive on pressure and confidence in his position that he can do the job.
He's a lonely man there on the corner. What he's waiting for, I don't know. But he waits every day now, and he's just waiting for something to show. Oh.
Do you go into games wanting them to throw balls against you?
Oh, no question about it. That's the only way you can make plays, if they throw balls at you. If you don't want them to throw balls at you, you shouldn't be on the field, especially playing corner.
You know, the more I look at this painted green dirt field, it's going to be a factor. As a matter of fact, Bob, this field is wearing more makeup than Tammy Baker. That was a little pause in case you might want to chuckle.
Yeah.
But no, but you know, as a receiver, it could cause a problem with the defensive backs here because when I played receiver, I like for guys to come up and play me bump and run on a frozen field because if one slip, that bump and run turns into bump and chase. Now, I talked to Frank Minifield, and Frank Minifield says that another thing that's working in their favor, that as you play on this field, it starts to get a little bit sandy, and the receiver has to start chopping his steps to make his cuts. So there'll be no sharp cuts. That works in the defensive back's favor. I'll be keeping my eye on that matchup. Bob?
All right, Ahmad, we'll pause here, give Ahmad a chance to confer with his comedy writers, and when we come back, Paul McGuire will be here with his selection. Browns are favored by about 7.5 or 8. The Cleveland offense is about to be introduced. Let's go back to the stadium and pick up some of that, after which we'll go to Paul McGuire for his pick.
For the third consecutive year, introducing the offensive lineup for the AFC Central Division champion, Cleveland Browns. At center, number 61, Mike Bell. At left guard, number 70, Larry Williams. At right guard, number 69, Dan Fike. At left tackle, number 74, Paul Vera. The right tackle, number 63, Cody Riza. At wide receiver, specialist, number 89, Gerald McNeil. At fullback, number 34, Kevin Max. At running back, number 44, Ernest Weiner. At wide receiver, number 84, Webster Slaughter. At tight end, the all-time leading tight end receiver, number 82, Ozzie Newsome. And at quarterback, number 19, Bernie Kosar. Head coach Marty Schottenheimer and the rest of the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Paul McGuire is standing along the sideline in Cleveland. I don't know if he can hear us amid the din, but let's go to him and get his selection. The Browns by 7.5 or 8. What do you say?
Hey, Bobby, the dogs are howling in the stands, and the dogs on the field, they're another relaxed team. I told you Houston was a week ago. This team is truly relaxed. Said they will not disappoint their fans this year, and I talked to one other guy that assured me. Gerald, the Ice Cube McNeil, said he's going to return one. Didn't say whether it's going to be a punt or a kickoff for a touchdown. So I'm taking Cleveland easily in this ball game.
All right, Paul, our thanks to you and to Ahmad Rashad, Gail Gardner, and Don Shula. Don and Gail will be back with us at halftime, and we'll join Don Criqui and Bob Trumpy for the kickoff and the play-by-play right after these messages. See you at halftime.
The National Broadcasting Company presents the National Football League. Today, from Cleveland Stadium, it's the AFC Divisional Playoff. The Indianapolis Colts versus the Cleveland Browns. Brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. By the U.S. Armed Forces, it's a great place to start. And by the Kellogg Company, maker of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony's Flakes of Corn with a sweet frosting. Today, Eric Dickerson leads underdog Indianapolis into Cleveland. Some call Dickerson a fumbler, but the record shows he is above all a winner. 5 years in the NFL, he's been the lead player on 5 divisional playoff teams. The Browns' offense centers around the AFC's top-rated passer, Bernie Kosar. Just 24 years old and 3 years in the NFL, he has quarterbacked 3 divisional championship teams. Snow, ice, and cold in Cleveland, Ohio, and despite it all, 80,000 will pack Cleveland Stadium for this divisional playoff game. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. The weather is somewhat better than it's been earlier when it was like a Russian winter here in Cleveland, with chill factors 35 below zero. Today, the playing conditions are surprisingly good because there's not a lot of wind, at least at the outset. Trump, nobody is conceding the Colts much of a chance in this game. The Browns are a huge favorite, even though the Colts upset them here a month ago. How do you assess it?
Well, I do think the Colts are underdogs for one reason, lack of playoff experience. They have 4 players who will play today who have playoff experience. All 4 of those players got the playoff experience on other teams. For Cleveland, their 3rd straight trip to the playoffs, they're very comfortable in this situation. The one thing I think Indianapolis has to do, Don, is keep the run and the pass spread out throughout the football game so that in the 4th quarter, Eric Dickerson is still a factor. If they can get it to the mule, and Dickerson is the mule for the Colts, late in the 4th quarter, he can win you a game.
There is number 29, Eric Dickerson, 6'3", 218 pounds, and he is the target of the Cleveland defense. Every game, everybody goes after Eric Dickerson. He is the focal point of the Colts and Coach Ron Meyer's success story there. He came in last year, as you know, with a 0-13 team, won the last 3 games, and this year, in the space of a year, the Colts went from 0-13 to a divisional championship. His counterpart, Marty Schottenheimer, in his 3rd full season as head coach of the Browns, to his credit, 3 divisional championships. Former special teams player with the Buffalo Bills. Prior to that, an All-American linebacker at the University of Pittsburgh. 2 young coaches. We'll see how they change their game plans over their meeting of just over a month ago, December 6th. These Colts came into Cleveland as a big underdog and won it 9-7 in a major upset. This kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers, as Dean Biasucci is ready to kick it off.
Don, whatever wind there is, the Colts will have it at their back to begin the football game. It's not a lot of wind. You can see the flag well above the stadium, hanging limp, but on the field, it's at the Indianapolis Colts' back.
Gerald McNeil and Herman Fontenot are back deep now for the Cleveland Browns. There's Biasucci, who was cut by two teams. He's done a sensational job. Has been the most effective kicker in the National Football League this season. A short kick. It's picked up by Fontenot, a runner from LSU. He's hemmed in by the special teams play, and Herman Fontenot is cut down at about the 14-yard line. Now looking at the Cleveland Browns in offense, number 19, Bernie Kosar comes out to quarterback them. Ernest Binders, their leading receiver, at a running back. He caught 52. Kevin Mack, their leading rusher. Langhorne and Slaughter, the wide receivers. And the famed Ozzie Newsome at tight end. He's caught more passes than any tight end in National Football League history. Offensive line has been very effective. Big, perhaps underrated, but they take care of Kosar. First down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Opening play from scrimmage. Kosar had his poorest game of the season. The first meeting with Indianapolis, he screams it out, and Kevin Mack takes it straight ahead. And he's out close to the 19-yard line, knocked down by linebacker Johnny Cooks. The Colts on defense allowed fewer points than any team in the National Football League. Donnell Thompson, a big defensive end out of North Carolina. Byron Darby, an undersized nose tackle. John Hand, a second-year player from Alabama. Strength of the defense, some standout linebackers. Cooks, Odom, Krause, and Bickett. Dwayne Bickett has been fabulous this year. The secondary has done the job. No named players, but they've got it done. Second down now, and about 6 to go for the first down. This is Kevin Mack. Free ball. There could be more of those on this rock-hard frozen field, as Johnny Cooks, a big, fast linebacker from Mississippi State, came up to make the stick.
Down at the outset, the first little bit of luck or break happens for the Indianapolis Colts, and that is the Cleveland Browns start their initial drive at their own 14-yard line. In pressure-packed playoff games, field position always very, very important. That's a long field Cleveland's got to go.
That's what Coach Marty Schottenheimer-Trump was talking about yesterday. Field position is everything, and the worse the weather gets, the more important it becomes. Chill factor just above 0 now, here early in the first quarter, as the Browns go to a long yardage play, 3rd and 6. Markers are down. Kosar might have a free play, as you see the ball incomplete at the 26-yard line. Clarence Weathers was the intended receiver. The rush was put on by Harvey Armstrong.
He was also offsides. He's standing right there in front of the center watching the football. Red Cash and the referee offsides defense. That's the nose tackle. That's a mistake that in playoff games you hope your guys don't make. The only thing that Armstrong can see is the football, and he still jumps off sides.
He was a captain for Ron Meyer at SMU as a collegian. The 5-yard penalty will not give the Browns a first down, however. It'll be third down about a yard.
But, Don, it brings up a third down and 1 situation, and the Cleveland Browns, ending the season, have converted 17 of their last 18 third down and 1s. Really a great break for Cleveland.
That is remarkable. 14:03 to go, first quarter. Deep back is Kevin Mack. He could get it on 3rd and less than a yard. Fontenot comes in motion. Kevin Mack takes into the Indianapolis defense and out to the 27-yard line. First down, Cleveland. So the mistake by Harvey Armstrong is magnified. The Browns capitalize, get a first down.
We'll watch the linebackers of the Indianapolis Colts. Of the 4 linebackers, 3 number 1 picks, and Cliff Odom, who was cut by the Cleveland Browns. Excellent job by the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns, just opening up a nice little seam there for Kevin Mack to get through. Big first down. That gets Cleveland's feet on the ground, gets their head in the ball game here, this first down.
Cleveland's strength, though, is passing. They're 21st in the NFL in rushing this season. Near the bottom. Kosar on first down to put it up. Swings it out. Kevin Mack has the ball in some open field as he crosses the 30-yard line, gets out to about the 32. So a first down play gets the Browns good yardage. Another very important point, Trump, that Schottenheimer said his team has to do is to win on first down. He said defensively, if you get them 2nd and 8, you've won first down defensively. Conversely, you've got to get yards on first down. It sets up the whole offense.
The first down yardage, if you can pick up the first down yardage against Indianapolis, that keeps the outside linebackers, Cooks and Pickett, out of the blitz. And when those two guys blitz, they're a tough load to handle for any offensive line.
Second down, 4 to go for the Cleveland Browns. No score, opening drive. Hand off to Kevin Mack. He's to the 35-yard line. That'll bring up third down and about 3 as Johnny Cooks and Dwayne Bickett, the two outside linebackers, were in on the stop.
Both of those guys as big as defensive linemen, but almost as mobile as linebackers 10 or 15 years ago. Cooks calls the defenses for the Indianapolis Colts. The Browns do have to run the ball some here against this defense, just to keep that Indianapolis Colt defense honest, Don.
Wind is coming up a bit now as this game is underway. Temperature in the teens, chill factor down around 0. It'll be dropping. Kevin Mack, both arms on the ball, breaks into open field, and Mack crosses the 50. He's inside the 40. Free ball, but he might be ruled down by the field. He was, and the Cleveland Browns break the run up the middle. Eugene Daniel finally made the tackle, but he made it way downfield as the gain on the play is good for 28 yards.
We're going to see this right from behind the defense, Don. This is almost the same blocking scheme they ran on the last third down. A nice trap by Cody Risen, 63, the offensive tackle, on the nose man, and Mack protecting that football. You can see he's down, ball loose, 28-yard pickup. It's exactly what Schottenheimer wanted. First time on the field, his offense does some good.
The Colts have allowed the fewest points in the NFL, just 15.9 a game. Cleveland starting to challenge now, opening drive, and here is Mack again. He's stuck hard by a big defensive end, John Hand from Alabama, who was the 4th player picked in the last draft. Starting to come on. Of the front 7 players in the Indianapolis defense, 5 were high number 1 draft choices.
Got a player on a knee. It's Kevin Mack. They need him. He's got to be there for 4 quarters today because the running game will keep the Indianapolis Colts out of a lot of defenses that they like to run. Keep Cooks and also Bickett off of Bernie Kosar. He's limping a little bit, but he's up.
Just had his longest run of the season, that 28-yarder. A mistake looming large for Indianapolis, the offside that helped the Browns keep the drive alive. Second down and 8. Kosar, timing pattern near side. He's underthrowing his intended receiver, Brian Brennan, who turned out at the 30. Kosar appearing to have a bit of a problem gripping the ball. It's like a rock today.
You can't compress that ball. Law of physics, you know. When it's cold inside that football, those little molecules are really hard in there, and Bernie just threw that one right on the ground. There's Kevin Mack on the sideline. Last time Cleveland played Indianapolis, Mack got a little bruise on his knee, was out for a while. Bernie's also throwing into the wind. Now, this is where Indianapolis blitzes, Don. This is where Kosar's got to be careful.
No score. 11:08 to play in the first quarter. 3rd and 8 for Kosar and the Cleveland Browns. Out pattern. He's got his man inside the 30. Gerald McNeil, aptly named today, the Ice Cube, is knocked down by Willie Tullis.
Whoa, that spot.
They're going to spot him short of the first down, so again the Browns go to a short yardage play with 4th down coming up this time.
I think McNeil was shorted a little bit on that catch. Kosar again. Indianapolis gets pressure. You can see Bernie has got people in his face. McNeil makes a nice catch. Willie Tullis on the coverage, but the spot. Let's see if we can pick it up again. His feet are about a foot short of that yard line.
McNeil did some job just to catch the ball. Tullis right on him as it arrived. The Cube's corner, the lightest player in the National Football League, Gerald McNeil, 142 pounds.
You saw him yesterday in the locker room. Said he looked like an 11-year-old kid.
And his whole life, when he goes to a new team, he went to Baylor for college. Everybody says, "Who is this kid looking for equipment?" He's literally half the size of a lot of his teammates. There's a lot of them over 285.
I think Gerald McNeil hits a first down, Cleveland. Gerald McNeil proves the point that it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Amazing little guy. Well, officially he's 147, but as of yesterday, his own admission, he was 142. He said he might bulk up to 144 with the cold weather gear. Great kid. He lights up a room.
This is a magnificent drive so far. Started at the Cleveland 15, and the first drive of the game, so very, very important. This is now the 10th play of this opening drive of the game.
Webster Slaughter, the Browns' best deep threat, goes wide and left. Top of your screen. First down and 10. Biner starts in motion as Kosar looks to throw on first down again, and the ball is slapped back at him. So it'll be second down and 10. They want to get very close before they try any field goals in this game. Byron Darby looked like he might have gotten a hand on it. The nose tackle out of Southern California. An undersized nose tackle, but very quick.
Now, Don, it's surprising that Bernie Kosar doesn't have that happen to him more often. He slings that ball more than throwing it. Sidearm. They tried to get him to throw it overhand. It slowed down his delivery so much. Lindy Infante, the offensive coordinator, said, "You throw it the way you want, son. You don't do bad yourself."
The top-rated passer in the American Conference, second in the NFL this year to Joe Montana. Bernie Kosar now on second and 10. Second back through as a marker goes down, and Biner takes it down inside the 25-yard line, where he's knocked down by inside linebacker Cliff Odom, who originally was a Cleveland Brown.
I'll tell you what happened there. Yeah, you got a legal motion. Kevin Mack had his hand up, and you had another man in motion, and when you have two men in motion before the ball can be snapped legally, they both got to stop. The man in motion kept going.
Two men were in motion by the offense. 5 yards, it'll still be first down.
Yeah, the man in motion was Reggie Langhorne, and when two move in motion, now watch Mack pick his hand up. Well, he's already got his hand down. Before that, he had picked his hand up, and when two guys are in motion and they consider that motion, they both must stop before the ball is snapped. Another little bit of the jitters, I think, in the opening part of this playoff game.
Bernie Kosar is not a good runner. 1.5 yards a carry. They don't like him to run with it, but Ron Meyer, the Colts coach, says he's like an alligator on land. You think he can't move, now all of a sudden he runs you down. Pure pocket passer. Very little rollout.
Blitz.
Kosar dropping again, swings it out, and the catch is made by Kevin Mack, and he's inside the 30 and down close to the 26-yard line. Johnny Cooks was on the tackle, along with Barry Krause, another linebacker.
And that's the third time now Cleveland has come with that little screen. Early stages of the ball game, Cleveland choosing not to throw the ball down into coverage. Last time these two teams met, Bernie Kosar, Marty Schottenheimer admitted they had trouble identifying the Colts defenses. And Colts do a good job of disguising them.
Yeah, they say it's a simple-looking defense, very basic. And now they go bringing up extra rushers as 9:12 shows in the first quarter clock. Third down and 9 comes up for Cleveland, the scoreless playoff game. Opening drive, out pattern, timing throw, and down with the ball is Webster Slaughter. He's inside the 15-yard line. Eugene Daniel was covering, but Kosar, a beautiful rhythm passer, released the ball before his receiver made the outbreak, and when he turned the ball was right there.
Well, I don't think people realize how much time and repetition that takes in practice. Now, you're going to be able to see the ball is coming on its way before Webster Slaughter turns his head, Don. You're absolutely right. You can't blame Eugene Daniel for this. There's no way he can cover this. And Eugene Daniel locking on Johnny Cooks. Pass protection there certainly gave Bernie Kosar the time. Big first down pickup.
13th play of the drive coming up now as the Browns have converted 4 third downs to keep it going. Handoff, Mack up the middle. Taken on by linebacker Cliff Odom at the 10-yard line. On a first down run, he is ahead for a gain of 3 yards as Coach Meyer's defense is now under the gun.
On this drive, Cleveland has converted 4 of 4 third downs. Time of possession, everything now going to Colts.
Johnny Cooks is down. So Cooks is attended to, and 8:45 shows on the clock. We pause for this word.
Every day, Jack Taylor and Joe Donovan take the same road home. But today, they went a little out of their way.
Give you a hand.
Here's to you, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood aged Budweiser.
This Bud's
For all the guys who go out of their way.
This Bud's for you.
Sidney Ward, company president, beautiful view. You're a pretty powerful guy.
I do okay.
But weren't you just seen pleading for change in the street? Because you ran out of coins for the public phone?
No, wait a minute.
Sid, you need the AT&T card.
Oh?
With the AT&T card, you never need coins. Dial 0 plus the number you're calling, then your card number, and your call is billed to your phone.
Is that so?
Now, that's power, Sidney.
Well, then it's me.
To get the AT&T card, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
Introducing a high-performance luxury sports coupe made the Mazda way.
If you like the idea of going places in a hurry, check out Mazda's all-new MX-6 GT. A turbocharged, intercooled 12-valve road machine that'll outrun the top-of-the-line Honda Prelude and still run you a cool $2,000 less. Believe me, you don't have to drive it this hard to love it. You just have to drive it.
Outside linebacker Johnny Cook's in the circle. You'll see as this play has run away, tight end Ozzie Newsome tries to get a block on him, rolls on his left leg. Cooks is off to the sidelines. Now, this Indianapolis Colts defense, a terrific defense, but not deep. They need all these starting players out there for 4 quarters.
Extra people come out now. Orlando Lowry, a very fast linebacker from Ohio State's in the defense as the Colts are backed up on this extended opening drive by the Cleveland Browns. Still no score. 8:30 to play first quarter. The Browns coming to a 2nd and 8 play at the 10-yard line of Indianapolis. Kosar with plenty of time. Picks a person out, throws downfield. He's not close. Miner turned out. And it was very nearly playing the ball by Freddie Robinson, a rookie defensive back from Alabama.
And I think it was a great change-up of the defense by the Colts. If they gave Bernie Kosar a man-to-man look and then went to zone, and Bernie's throwing this ball away. Freddie Robinson almost gets to the ball, but he's just flat throwing his ball away.
Been a long dry spell for the Colts. They've not been to the playoffs in 10 seasons. They have not won a playoff game since 1971. And they beat the Browns here, went on to beat Dallas in the Super Bowl in January of 72. Kosar on 3rd down and 8. Again looking into the end zone. He throws a strike for a touchdown. Ernest Feiner out of the backfield and over the middle. And Kosar with that tight spiral right on his numbers at the goal line. And Feiner powers in against Nesby Glasgow and Freddie Robinson. And the Cleveland Browns, who scored only 1 touchdown on an opening drive this season, take it downfield, and that offside was huge. When a Colt defender jumped offside on a 3rd down play that turned out to be an incomplete pass, Cleveland would have had a punt. Instead, they got the down over, needed a yard for a first down, got it, and finally take it in.
Feiner, his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season, but as you mentioned earlier, he's the Browns' leading receiver on the season. What a drive. Started at their own 15. Whoa. That's impressive.
The extra point. Hit up and good by Matt Barr. Kosar 6 for 9, throwing the ball for 49 yards in the drive, and the touchdown. Here it is.
You see the linebacker coverage on Feiner. He goes outside. Bernie reads it perfectly. And Glasgow, who has a bad ankle, but you can't look at the ankle and say that's the problem. Feiner powers in for the Browns' first score.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
I went to my dentist with the worst pain. The nerve was exposed. He told me about a different medicine. It's in these little yellow pills. Nuprin works so well on that pain. No wonder it's great on my awful headaches.
Nuprin. It's not aspirin, not Tylenol.
It's ibuprofen. So effective, 2 Nuprin stop headaches better than extra-strength Tylenol.
And Nuprin's gentler on my stomach than aspirin.
Nuprin. Little, yellow, different, better.
It even worked on my worst pain.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Compassion. You can't teach it or place too great a value on it. But you could measure it down this very road on the morning of June 23rd. In the actions of Allstate Claims Adjuster Don Mulder, who at 5 a.m. drove 60 miles to a fire site. All just to shorten the distance between a man's loss and a man's recovery. People like Don Mulder. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Offside by that man, Harvey Armstrong of Indianapolis, helped the Browns keep the opening drive alive, and ultimately they go 86 yards in 15 plays and take a 7-0 lead.
Now, the last 2 times these teams met, the one thing the Cleveland Browns could not do is sustain a drive. They start the game with a 15-play drive, took over 8 minutes, 86 yards. Cleveland's got to be feeling good, and Indianapolis, all of a sudden, this stadium is a lot colder than it was a few minutes ago.
Now they have to answer with this drive as the kickoff comes downfield to Albert Bentley. Bentley breaks it across the 20 and gets out to the 25-yard line. Rockins was down to help make the tackle as Jack Trudeau comes out now to quarterback the Indianapolis Colts, a second-year player out of Illinois. Browns, as you see, used a lot of time and a lot of plays taking it into the end zone on the touchdown pass. Gosar.
Most impressive thing there, Don, 5 of 5 on third downs.
Trudeau has been effective since coming in to replace the injured Gary Hogeboom. Dickerson hit in the backfield. Busting up the middle to get him was Dave Pazzulli, who's been called on to start for the injured nose tackle Bob Golick. Now with a fractured arm, Pazzulli from Pittsburgh shaded the block and made the hit. Trudeau with Dickerson in the backfield. Booza and Brooks are the receivers. Brooks the best deep threat. They use really 2 tight ends. The H-back's a tight end positioned as a blocker. Offensive line has 3 Pro Bowl players in it. Chris Hinton, Ray Donaldson, and Ron Solt. 13 Pro Bowl players in this game. The Colts and the Browns have the most in the NFL. 7 for Cleveland, 6 for Indianapolis. Dickerson takes a look, finds some room, and Eric Dickerson on 2nd down and 12 as they cross the 30 and out to about the 31-yard line.
Don, the Browns have got a nice change-up defense here. It's a 4-man front with Mike Johnson right behind the line of scrimmage. You see him flow to this, but this is a different look than I believe Indianapolis expected to see the Cleveland Browns in. Now, Dickerson does a great job of cutting this ball back to pick up 6 or 7 yards. Let's see if they run that 4-man front again.
Game clock down to 6:45 and running first quarter. Browns with a 7-0 lead on the Kosar touchdown pass to Biner. Trudeau gets time, throws a strike up the middle, first down. Brooks is across to the 41-yard line. Knocked down on the play by outside linebacker Lucius Sanford. Bill Brooks.
He's hurt.
To be shaken up.
He got a face mask. It's going to go on Cleveland. He's trying to shake it off. Brooks wants to play every down of this play offensively that he can. Watch this pattern now. And the Colts' idea of offense is to just move the chains. Now watch the face mask. It's Mike Johnson. And it looks like Brooks turns his knee a little bit. Hope that's not the case because he's an awful valuable receiver for him. We'll see the face mask again by 59, and then you see the way it kind of gets. Any time an athlete gets his weight outside his knee joint, that's trouble.
Trudeau, he's going to throw on first down. He screens it off. With the ball is Eric Dickerson in the open field. Look at the block by Donaldson as Dickerson powers ahead across the 45-yard line of Cleveland down to the 43, and Indianapolis has a first down. An 11-yard gain on the play. As you look at the defensive front of the Browns, Clancy, Pazzulli, and Big Daddy Hairston. Lucius Sanford, a waiver acquisition at outside linebacker. Clay Matthews, a Pro Bowl player. The Johnsons, not related, make a lot of tackles inside. The cornerbacks will both start in the Pro Bowl. That's how good they are, Minifield and Dixon.
We introduced the three-man front, but as you can see, the Cleveland Browns staying in the four-man front.
Dickerson from deep in the I set. Lone back set, actually, and he's ahead for very little as he tries the right side of the Cleveland defense. And nose tackle Dave Pizzulli, along with inside linebacker Mike Johnson, were there to get him. Dickerson, for a fifth straight year, gained over 1,000 yards. Gained over 1,000 just 8 games with Indianapolis since the trade with the Rams.
Mike Johnson, their leading tackler, the Cleveland Browns' leading tackler, acquired from the U.S. Football League, one of the greatest acquisitions the Cleveland Browns have made in recent seasons.
And Dickerson, public enemy number 1 in Cleveland, all 11 defenders eyeing 29 as he gets it again. And Eric Dickerson looks for room, or Albert Bentley in for Dickerson, and he takes it down close to the 43-yard line. Johnson again was on the tackle. Kevin Call exchanged his words with Sam Clancy. 4:34 to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Cleveland Browns. Albert Bentley may be the most underrated back in the NFL. He was second this year to Herschel Walker in all-purpose yards, rushing, receiving, and returning kicks. He played with Bernie Kosar on that first national championship team of Miami of Florida 4 years ago.
Generally speaking, with Bentley in there, they do a lot more throwing. Dickerson there, no pretenses. They're going to give it to him as much as they can.
Third down and 8 as Trudeau drops the throw. Gets some time, stands in, lofts it downfield, and the ball is caught, and there's a penalty marker down. And then another. Mark Bellini, a rookie wide receiver from Brigham Young in the game for the first time. With the gloves on, went high to take down the pass from Jack Trudeau. It's good for a 21-yard gain. 2 markers down, though, Trump, in the Cleveland secondary.
It's going to be against Cleveland, too. It looks like a pattern run by Bellini. Look, I think they call it on 23 Harper, who was not even involved in the primary receiver. But that's an excellent pattern run by Bellini on the Pro Bowl cornerback Frank Minifield, but Harper got caught. He was grabbing the inside receiver. Well, this is a great responding drive by the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes, it is. After Cleveland went 86 yards and 15 plays to open the game. A 10-yard touchdown throw from Kosar to Biner. The only point so far at 7-0. Bentley in the backfield. Now Dickerson is back in. Eric Dickerson swings out as Trudeau throws a strike down inside the 5. Matt Booza has the ball, and he's down to the 2-yard line. Matt Booza with his 43rd reception of the year for an 18-yard gain, and the Colts answer the touchdown drive of Cleveland coming right back at him.
Interesting formation run by Indianapolis. You see Dickerson in the backfield. Bentley was set on the wing. Trudeau really comes over the top on this ball, really guns it in there. You can see 24 Ellis is the man in coverage. Booza makes an outstanding catch with the pressure. He comes from the outside. Nice pattern run. Well thrown. First and goal, Indianapolis.
Now it's an I set. Bentley's the deep back. Wansley's the up back. First and goal from about 2 yards out. It's Albert Bentley. Oh, the hit put on him as Albert Bentley is knocked back from the 3. Eddie Johnson and Anthony Griggs were on the play. Johnson, 51. Who's led the Browns in tackling 3 of his seasons.
And if the Colts have had a problem, they have certainly gotten the ball inside the 20-yard line many, many times this season. Maybe it was 45 times they've gotten the ball inside the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. They've only come up with 20 touchdowns out of that situation, 19 field goals.
Interesting, they're down close, and their money back is not in the game. Bentley and Wansley are the runners. Dickerson's looking on from the sideline. Play fake, throw, touchdown, Pat Beach. So the Colts come right back, and Pat Beach, a big tight end from Washington State, broke the coverage by a very well-executed play fake from his quarterback, who faked to the runner, held the backers, and Beach slipped off wide open, a 2-yard touchdown reception. And now the Colts, 1 point, an extra point from tying this game with 2:16 to play first quarter.
Good play action fake by Wansley and also Jack Trudeau. You see the coverage missing. 51 Eddie Johnson is the closest man. That's a 75-yard drive. We didn't expect this to be a shootout. Both teams score on their first possession of this game.
And Trudeau was sensational. 5 for 5 for 59 yards and a score. He and Kosar both throwing very effectively in the cold here at Cleveland. Extra point by Biasucci is up and good. 2:16 to go in the first quarter. It's tied up 7-7. There is Armstrong, who had that offside that kept the Cleveland touchdown drive alive.
Introducing a high-performance luxury sedan made the Mazda way.
High-performance luxury sedans traditionally ask you to pay a pretty dear price. Well, that's not the Mazda way. Mazda's all-new 929 has world-class luxury appointments. It's amazingly quiet, solid riding, and actually outperforms those guys. Now there's less standing between you and a car this good. About $8,000 less.
This is the Mazda way.
Thanks again, boys, and keep the change. You hear all this nonsense about Kellogg's Frosted Flakes being just for kids. Well, I, for one, eat them, and I'm going to go right on eating them. Frosted Flakes just for kids. Come on. Like we adults have to go sneaking around. Like we can't love these crisp, sweet flakes just as much as kids. Who is it?
You just have to admit it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
For every number flashing by in the ticker, there's a buyer and a seller who found each other. Chicago pork bellies get an offer from London. Swiss francs are picked up in Dallas. How do traders keep up with it? They use a communication system from Contel. If it doesn't work, they don't work. That's why 4 out of 5 major trading firms depend on technology from Contel. For Contel, I'm Charlton Heston.
Tonight on Saturday Night Live, Steve Martin and Sting.
As you see, the Colts and the Browns lead the NFL in fewest points allowed, but both scored on their opening drives in this divisional playoff game. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Cleveland Stadium. As again, the Indianapolis Colts are ready to kick the ball off. Herman Fontenot and Gerald McNeil are back deep now for Cleveland. Dean Biasucci has the ball teed up. He's a Pro Bowl player after hitting 24 of 27 field goal attempts this season. He was cut by 2 teams before he made it big this year with the Colts. Spinning kickoff, very short. They're out of bounds, and the Browns, of course, start with good field position.
At their own 35. That beats the touchdown catch, his first touchdown catch of the 1987 season.
An out-of-bounds kickoff, and the ball is placed at the 35-yard line.
So far, the numbers spectacular. Neither offense paying much respect to the other team's defense. Pretty much going right through them.
First time that Biasucci's kicked off out of bounds all season. So Kosar and the Browns are set to go with their second possession after a 15-play, 86-yard drive.
Tim Manoah's in there. Kevin Mack is not. We'll try to find out if there's something physically wrong with Kevin Mack.
He was shaking up. Manoah is a first-year player from Penn State. Big power back. Hasn't gotten a lot of playing time. Has been effective when he's been in there. Good blocker, and he uses it now to take out Cooks as Kosar throws downfield. There'll be a foul call on that play. Webster Slaughter was fouled at the 48-yard line. The defender came over his back. It looked like Eugene Daniel, 38, who got him.
We'll watch the end of the play. Of course, the Indianapolis folks are going to argue, hey, look, they both got a chance at the ball.
Total foul.
Total foul, no question about it. Automatic first down. You want to try as best you can to time that leap over the receiver. Ends up being a 17-yard penalty.
Wind is kicking up a bit more off frozen Lake Erie. The Browns in this tie game 7-7 with 2:06 to play in the first quarter now go first and 10 from the 48-yard line of the Colts. Kosar slapped back at him, and Bernie almost got his own ball.
Byron Darby or Donnell Thompson, I think it was Donnell Thompson had his hand up. That's twice now the ball has been slapped back in Bernie Kosar's face at the line of scrimmage.
First time they played, as you know, Trump, the Colts put Donnell Thompson in as a nose tackle. They played him over the Cleveland center, gave the Browns a lot of trouble with their blocking scheme. So far today, they've not brought him in. He's a left defensive end. Kosar with 2nd and 10 and an eye set in his backfield. In Manoa is the up back. Kosar looking to catch the Colts. Maybe jumping early as they did in that opening drive, and now a drop and a throw, and his receiver loses his footing. Reggie Langhorne turning in, and the ball was not close to a completion. That brings up 3rd down and 10 for Kosar and the Browns.
That ball was thrown way, way behind Reggie Langhorne. Kosar comes in completing better than 60% of his passes, but the last time these two teams met, the only time this season that Kosar completed less than 50%, odds seem to be in favor of the Browns at this point in the game. They're 5 of 5 on 3rd downs. The report on Kevin Mack, he is ill on the sideline. And the doctors and the trainers do not know why.
So Mack is out, and on this 3rd down play, the Browns go to 4 wideouts. And to the run they go, and Biner breaks it in. Biner's going to get the 1st down as he cuts it down to the 37-yard line. Colts totally spread out in pass coverage, and the Browns crossing them up with a play call to the run. Willie Tullis finally made the tackle, but on 3rd and 10, it's good for an 11-yard gain. There is, though, a penalty marker down.
It's against the Colts. That's against Dwayne Pickett. They'll obviously keep the play. Don, you diagnosed it correctly. They come with the 4 wide receivers. Watch Pickett. He's in the neutral zone there. Penalty. The Browns spread the defense. You see the nice trap back block by Larry Williams, the offensive guard, and Biner up through there. Now, last time these two teams met, Biner had a fumble at about the 5-yard line. It really cost the Browns a chance to win the game.
1st down and 10 now for the Cleveland Browns. Tie game 7-7, 1:32 to play 1st quarter. Biner somehow maintains his footing. Field cold, a little loose on the upper layer, rock solid underneath. It's frozen solid as Cliff Odom makes the knockdown of Ernest Biner inside the 35-yard line. He's down to the 32, gained almost 5 yards on the play.
This is an interesting offense in that 2 years ago, the Browns had Mack and Biner both over 1,000 yards. Last season, they played but 7 quarters together. This year, they've been healthy all the time. Both get their share. Biner the better receiver, Mack the better runner.
Browns over 100 yards offense 1st quarter, well balanced, 49 passing, 54 running. 2nd and a long 5. Kosar finds his man. It's Biner over the middle. He's inside the 20. And Biner thunders on down to the 16-yard line. Ernest Biner, a power back out of East Carolina, 5'10", 215 pounds, who led the Browns with 52 receptions in the regular season. And he has been the target of Kosar's passes, and he's been on the money. You remember the touchdown pass that opened the scoring.
This is a busted coverage. Somebody lost track of Ernest Biner. You'll see him appear in the picture. There's no one around him except the umpire. Biner turns around and is surprised, shocked that no one is there. 16-yard pickup.
The 2 best defenses in the NFL against scoring, and we've not had a punt in almost a full quarter of play. Just before the 1st quarter ends, the give is to Manoa. On a 1st down carry, he's close to the 13-yard line. Tackle on the play for the Indianapolis Colts was by John Hand. Coach Meyer wasn't looking for a high-scoring game, but we might have one.
I'm Jack Garner. My little brother, James, that boy is everywhere. TV, movies. So investment firms are big fans of his, but my firm, they work real hard to help people like you and me invest, too. Dean Witter. Their mutual funds and investment advice help me get a real good grip on my finances.
You're somebody, Dean Witter.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
I don't know where to start telling you about Mazda trucks. They've been rated first in customer satisfaction 2 years in a row. They got the best warranty in the truck business. It covers you bumper to bumper. This 40 new SE5 comes with everything you're looking at, and it's still priced close to Toyota and Nissan's base trucks. So I don't know where you start. I guess it doesn't make any difference. You wind up here.
This is the Monster way.
New Tegrin medicated shampoo with conditioners leaves my hair looking great, and it's tough on dandruff.
And how do you know what tough is?
New Tegrin medicated shampoo with conditioners proves tough can be beautiful.
Trust your car's performance to luck, and someday it just may bite the hand that doesn't feed it. Give your car the good life with STP gas treatment.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Next Saturday, Walt Hazzard leads the UCLA Bruins into Freedom Hall to battle Denny Crum and the Cardinals of Louisville. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
Have been very tough on third downs. They're 6 of 6 so far in this game, and the most important Cleveland Browns sidelined with apparently an intestinal virus. Kevin Mack, their leading rusher.
They need him too. This is now second down, but the Browns have been able to move the chains so far in this football game almost at will.
2nd and 8, and then on the critical third downs, they've hit every time they've had to the Cleveland Browns. Quick out. Goes to Biner. Blockers in front. He's inside the 5 or inside the 10 and knocked out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. Coming up to make the stick was Dwayne Pickett, the all-pro outside backer, but the Browns are challenging again.
Don, the Browns have found a way to get Ernest Biner loose out there with Dwayne Pickett. You see, it's a screen. Slaughter is a personal protector for him, and also Reggie Langhorne, not big guys, but as long as Pickett plays 6 or 7 yards off the line of scrimmage from Biner, they're going to get it done. Biner now 3 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown. Browns time of possession. Look at the third down conversions. Neither team has missed one.
Now the Browns moving to the closed end of frozen Cleveland Stadium. First and goal from the 5. Second back through, and Ernest Biner takes it down close to the 3-yard line. Be second and goal from there as we have 14:45 to play in the first half. Mike Pryor starting in the defensive secondary, and Cliff Odom were on the tackle.
That's the last time the two teams met.
First time they met, December 6th. The regular season, Indianapolis came in. Biasucci kicked 3 field goals, all in the second quarter. Colts took a 9-0 halftime lead. Brown scored a touchdown in the third quarter. That was it, though. The Colts left with a 9-7 upset. Set. Second down and goal, Cleveland, and the tie game 7-7. Second back, Biner. He didn't get there. Colts come a hit and get him at the 2. Harvey Armstrong was one of the players that got him, along with Cliff Odom.
These are two huge lines, offensively and defensively. I don't know if you can find many lines that are going to be bigger. When it gets to pushing and shoving down at this spot, it's basically a matter of just who can find the little gap, the little crack. But you see a great job by Cliff Odom, who in 1980 was cut by the Cleveland Browns.
That was cut by the Raiders. Was loading trucks down in Dallas, Texas, when he got a call from the Colts, and he's been one of their best players since.
And we got an eligible receiver wearing number 70, Larry Williams, playing tight end.
Third and goal. Rosar takes a look. He's going to Derek Tennell. It's intercepted. Trevi Robinson picked off the ball for Indianapolis, and the Colts kill the drive. The intended receiver was a backup tight end, Derek Tennell. In the icy portion of that end zone, he lost his footing cutting out. And Freddie Robinson, a highly regarded first-year player from Alabama, is right on the ball.
You can see Tennell is down. Robinson right there to make the interception. The drive stops, and the Colts take over.
Be paying for that.
American Express.
It'll be okay, Mr. Davis. If you stop by our Minneapolis office tomorrow, you can pick up a new card.
Do you know if that's within walking distance?
Why?
Because I only have 83 cents. But you know what would really help?
What?
I'm having some trouble checking into this hotel.
I can imagine with only 83 cents. I can take care of it. Let me just talk to the hotel manager.
Thank you.
Okay.
A friendly voice in the middle of the night. Membership has its privileges.
Number 47, Fred Robinson just stopped the Cleveland drive with an interception, and now the Colts take over. NFL players tend to do very well in bitter cold conditions. It's wind that changes the game, and so far, Trump, wind's not been a problem.
Not been a factor. The problem has been that neither offense is paying much respect to the other team's defense. I mean, both these teams driving up and down the field as if there's nobody standing in front of them. That's the biggest surprise to me so far, Don.
Well, it's a 7-7 game, and the Colts are set to go now as they send their offense back out.
That's only Bernie Kosar's 9th interception thrown this season. And the Colts, I think their game plan is basically hang tough, hope to be in the ballgame in the fourth quarter, then turn Dickerson loose. Right now, Cleveland's allowing them to do that. Stay in the game.
Dickerson checking with his quarterback. Lines again, he drops so far off the line of scrimmage, but in 2 strides, he makes it up. Dickerson pass blocking. Trudeau screening the ball out. It goes to the man who caught the touchdown pass, Pat Beach, and he's ahead across the 20-yard line. First down play gets about 3 yards for Indianapolis.
Pazzulli on the tackle. He's playing the nose, replacing Bob Golick. He's on Ray Donaldson. And watch how he recognizes this screen. When he sees those linemen pull out in front of him, the Puzz is out there to assist on the tackle. An excellent player. And also as the defenders, Bob Golick on the sideline, the guy without the hat with the broken arm.
So far, second-year man Jack Trudeau's done it all right for Indianapolis. 6 throws, 6 completions for 63 yards and a touchdown. Eric Dickerson down in a cloud of dust, and he got about 2 yards. That'll make 3rd down and 6. Lucius Sanford, a very quick linebacker from Georgia Tech, was on the stop, along with Dave Pazzulli.
And the nose tackle Pazzulli. He's got to stand up that center, try to consume that center, try to consume as many blockers as he possibly can, and then push the pile. And the Puzz got it done.
Defense, the key to winning Super Bowls. The 5 most recent Super Bowl winners have all given up less than 9 points a game in the playoffs. Less than 9. We have a 7-7 tie today, with 11:58 to play in the first half. From the shotgun, Trudeau on the run, has a problem, gets it out, and it's broken up nicely at the 29-yard line.
Almost
Hanford
intercepted.
Dixon, a first-team All-Pro player, did indeed almost have an interception.
Trudeau, not a particularly good rollout quarterback. He's flush from the pocket here, and Hanford Dixon really makes up yards. This ball's thrown behind him. Dixon almost picks it off.
Dixon is a sensational talent for the Cleveland Browns, and now we're going to have the first punt of this game. Ron Stark, a former Pro Bowl punter, stands back at his 10-yard line. Little Gerald McNeil, who's going to the Pro Bowl as a kick returner, standing back awaiting it. Well hit ball with the left foot. Stark from Florida State booms it downfield. Ball on the field, and here comes the Ice Cube. Not very far. Swept under at the 23-yard line. Coming down to get him was Kevin Hancock, number 51. A 54-yard punt and just a 2-yard return.
Well, you're the kind of man that likes to do things your own way. And you can bet it's right when you get through. And there's a beer that always fits right in your hand. 'Cause you're a bud man, and this bud's for you. Oh, you do. This bud's for you.
Who says Chevy's better than Ford? USAC tested standard half tons with their best automatics and half ton payloads. 0 to 60, 40 to 55, pylon force handling, full-size Chevy beat Ford. Level and uphill towing acceleration. Chevy with Vortec V6 beat Ford. Which truck should you be driving? USAC test just answered it.
Now, get $500 cash back on new full-size CK pickups.
Many financial opportunities offer protection, yet one stands out because it also offers potential for growth. The Traveler's Universal Life. Life insurance protection and tax-deferred growth opportunity. So you'll have a special kind of nest egg to secure the financial future of your family or business. Get the Traveler's Universal Life and watch your opportunities grow. The Travelers, you're better off under the umbrella.
Today's game is brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevy truck. By Federal Express, who reminds you that it's not just a package, it's your business. And by Alamo Rent-A-Car. There are over 4 million miles of roads in America, and with Alamo, all the miles are free. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Cleveland Stadium. Maud Rashad and Paul McGuire also here. They'll be joining Costas and Don Shula and Gail Gardner at halftime as the biggest playoff weekend of the year is underway, and the game is tied 7-7. Now Kosar, downfield throw. Webster Slaughter can't get to the ball. It's picked off, but there's a marker down. Eugene Daniel intercepts for Indianapolis, but he might have pushed Webster Slaughter before he got to the ball, and it could be a big gain for the Cleveland Browns.
You got it.
But the Colts are pointing at Cleveland. We'll see. Looked like a foul on the Colts.
That ball floated in the air. And when Webster Slaughter came back for it, Eugene Daniel made the contact.
Number 38 on the defense.
Now that's an interference call on 2 on Indianapolis, 1 on Cleveland. Now watch this ball float. You can see it's almost, there's the contact right there. No question whatsoever. Excellent call. Daniel makes the interception, but the flag is already on the ground. I noticed Larry Williams coming off the sideline limping. Offensive guard for the Cleveland Browns. Being replaced by Greg Riccozzi. There's Williams. Mack already out on the sideline, ill.
Only time the Colt defense has been able to stop the Browns in this game was on the end zone interception. The last Cleveland possession when the Browns took it right down to point-blank range again. Freddie Robinson stopped a touchdown. Handoff with the ball is Tim Manoa. When you stutter step at the line of scrimmage, there's usually nothing there, and there wasn't for Manoa as he got ahead for maybe a yard. Combine tackle, Barry Krause and Eugene Daniel on the stop for Indianapolis.
And it's going to be interesting to see with the loss of Kevin Mack just what it does eventually to the running game of the Cleveland Browns. Now, Manoa, more of a blocker than he is a runner as we watch Larry Williams try to walk off any kind of injury. He's going in. Get something retaped, get something done, not really sure what, but Manoa's not even close to the running back that Kevin Mack is.
No, he's not. Mack is sidelined with an upset stomach. Only report we've gotten. He did start the game. Here is Kosar, 2nd and 9. Big rush. He loops it downfield, and he's not close to a connection as he again tried to go to Ernest Biner at the 32-yard line. And on 3 throws in the first half, Kosar has had the ball slip on him. And Al Thompson put the rush on Bernie Kosar, number 99.
Nice little game run up front by the Colts defensive line, and Donnell Thompson was basically untouched from the outside.
Browns 6 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. They have a 3rd and long coming up now. 3rd down and 9. And 39 to play in the first half. Cleveland 7, Indianapolis 7. The winner to meet the victor in tomorrow's Houston-Denver game for the right to represent the American Conference in the Super Bowl. Kosar against the blitz, stands in, dumps it off nicely, but it's not enough for a first down. Mike Pryor, the free safety from Illinois State, ran the play down. Clarence Weathers made the catch and was knocked down, and so the Browns send out their barefoot punter, Lee Johnson. Fun job today, Trump. Kicking a football in -0 chill factors. It has to be like kicking a bowling ball with a bare foot.
It's got to hurt. I don't care what he says. That's got to hurt. But kickers, punters, they're a strange group, probably from another planet years ago. They don't think the way the rest of us think.
Lamar suspect of not being well men. The ball is hit high downfield. Very nicely done by Lee Johnson.
Oh, nice fun.
And it goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Johnson kicked on a national championship team at Brigham Young. 36-yard punt placed out of bounds. And with 9:46 to go in the first half, the Colts take over with the long field to go.
The test of a great airline is not just how fast it moves you in the air, but how fast it moves you on the ground. That's why at some of the busiest airports in the world, United Airlines offers you the most advanced baggage systems, faster ticketing and boarding procedures, and the most spacious, convenient, efficient terminals in the business. United Airlines. From the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
A Big Mac attack could strike at any time.
You okay, honey? Honey, where you going, Pumpkin? Hey! Big Mac. Big Mac. Big Mac. Abner. Big Mac.
Big Mac? And a Coke. Listen to the heartbeat.
And you'll hear how to save up to $1,475 on a new Celebrity. Chevy has made it possible for your dealer to pass along savings of up to $775 on air-conditioned Celebrities, plus $700 savings on option packages. That adds up to a $1,475 savings, or save $350 to $1,200 on a specially equipped new Beretta, Cavalier, or Corsica, or get $600 cash back on a new '88 Camaro.
That's the same Chevrolet.
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC as the nation's top seniors suit up for college football's East-West showdown. Heisman Trophy winner Tim Brown, NCAA passing king Todd Santos, and the Icebox Michael Dean Perry at the Hula Bowl. Next Saturday, college football's best and brightest are on NBC.
After the 36-yard punt out of bounds at the 5-yard line, Lee Johnson goes over and... No, he doesn't stand there in the snow with his bare foot. He has his own special little boot to keep his footsie warm.
The crowd starts up. Very difficult to hear the count now as Trudeau sets up the Colts just inside their 5-yard line. Trudeau gets time and he throws a strike, but the ball is dropped at the 9-yard line. Bill Brooks, who doesn't drop many, dropped one there, covered by linebacker Eddie Johnson. We start up after the play with 9:41 to play first half, still a 7-7 game. If you joined us late, the Browns on a 15-play, 86-yard drive after the opening kickoff took it in on a touchdown throw from 10 yards out. Bernie Kosar to running back Ernest Biner. Then the Colts came down the field, and they connected on a short TD pass from 2 yards out. Jack Trudeau to tight end Pat Beach. No scoring since. The Browns were down close at the 2-yard line of Indianapolis, but an end zone throw was intercepted by Fred Robinson.
Now, to this point, Eric Dickerson been very little factor. He also has one catch on a screen for 10 yards. Well, the Browns have pretty much kept Dickerson out of the game to this point.
Second down and 10, but Eric Dickerson is a loaded gun. He can take it the distance on any play. Dickerson knocked down at the 6-yard line, and so Trudeau will have to throw from his end zone.
Looks like Mike Johnson makes the tackle. Am I right? It's 50-something.
Eddie Johnson was also there.
That's Eddie Johnson.
Was down.
He's definitely hurt. He kind of got Dickerson on the side. And Dickerson at 6'3", 217, 18 pounds can hurt you. Especially when it's a glancing blow.
That won't be the last player that's down in the game with the impact hitting we had today. We'll be paused for this word.
When it comes to making sales, you've got to know how to open those doors. You got to get up early. You got to stay up late. You got to answer all your calls. You got to keep going till you're over the top. It's all a part of the drill. Because if you don't take care of your customers, you know that somebody else will.
this reminder from Federal Express that it's not just a package, it's your business.
The Florida Keys stretch like an old clothesline for 130 miles. Down here, the locals are called conks. Their ways are old-fashioned, and so are their values. And in a way, ours are too. There are over 4 million miles of roads in Alamo territory, all across America. And whenever you rent a car from Alamo, the rates are low, and all those miles are free, including 130 miles, called the Florida Keys.
Thanks, John. To prepare the perfect round roast, you need the help of an expert. Miss, how do you cook one of these things? I've got some potatoes and some natural light, the beer with a taste for food, and some candles.
Yeah, all natural, less filling. It's Natural Light from Anheuser-Busch.
Okay, I open the natural, I preheat the oven. Now, is that the thing with the flip-down door?
Yeah.
I can't handle this alone.
I don't think you can either.
They are called Olympic hopefuls, but hope plays a small role here. For it will take a courage, a discipline, and a sheer will few of us will ever know. And if their effort is true, then they too will be known as Olympians.
Back to live action. Third down coming up now for Indianapolis. Third down and 8. The game tied 7-7. Colts backed up in their own end. Trudeau, 4 wide receivers in the game to put it up from the end zone. Here comes the rush. He eludes it for the moment. Throws downfield, makes the connection at the 17-yard line, and it looks like a first down as Bill Brooks, who you recall dropped one 3 plays ago, now comes back and makes the reception. But there is a penalty marker down also.
Here's the injury to Eddie Johnson. You see Eric Dickerson makes a little move here. Johnson misses him ever so slightly, kind of catches him off center. Looks like he got a little stinger there. Eddie Johnson's all right, but he has to come out for a play. Trudeau here does a great job of avoiding the rush, Don.
And the marker dropped by mistake, Trump. There's no penalty marker, so they're going to go from scrimmage, and it is a first down.
Carl Harrison, Big Daddy, made the pressure. Trudeau throws that ball down into the ground. Excellent job by the Colts offense there.
Dickerson gets the wave of tacklers and pushes them back, gets to the 21-yard line. Eric Dickerson stopped on the play by Eddie Johnson, who healed fast. He's right back in there, Eddie Johnson. That is the truth. And he said they have to be in concert to stop Dickerson, who's at 218 pounds, not only has 9.4 speed, but cuts back like a punt returner.
Absolutely. He's had 6 postseason games in his career. 4 times he's rushed for more than 100 yards. One time it was for a playoff record of 248 yards against Dallas.
Second and 5. They go up the gut to Eric Dickerson, and he might have the first down. Eric Dickerson is spotted ahead to the 29-yard line. Dickerson, the most amazing athlete. The knock on him, of course, that he's a fumbler. He's only fumbled 4 times this season in 223 carries. As Ron Meyer says, when you want to talk about him, talk about a winner. Took a little high school in Texas, Sealy High School, to a state championship. Went to SMU. Had 2 Southwest Conference championship teams. They hadn't anything like that since Doak Walker was there, and it was all because of Dickerson and James. 5 years in the NFL and 5 playoff teams. The Rams were a loser before he got there, went to 4 straight playoffs, and he didn't get there the year he left. And the Colts do for the first time in 10 years. Flea flicker. They're looking at Booza. Now there's a problem for Trudeau, and he wisely throws it away. Excellent coverage by the Browns.
Browns were not fooled. It did not draw the defensive coverage up. And that's what you hope that flea flicker does.
Good time to do it, though.
Oh, absolutely. You see the handoff, and nobody's fooled. Nobody. Now they're looking for the outlet receiver. You know, to continue on the train of thought on Eric Dickerson, he's so good, everybody tries to find something wrong with him. He's collected 8,000 rushing yards, faster than Jimmy Brown.
Right.
I mean, there's so many positive things about this guy. Everybody tries to find a negative.
8,200 yards in 5 seasons. Somehow the ball was caught. Hanford Dixon came up on the play as Booza came up on the ball at the 32-yard line and looked like he got it with one hand.
Well, that looked like some late piling on there. We got a penalty on the defense, too. Clay Matthews. Now, watch this throw.
I don't know how he caught this.
It's one-handed. The ball's thrown behind him. There's good coverage right on him, but he's able to hang on. And when the ball is loose, that's when people pile on. 59 Mike Johnson, 51 Eddie Johnson. But there's a flag on the other side of the field. It's against Clay Matthews holding. Automatic first down for the Indianapolis Colts as the drive stays alive.
First time they played, Cleveland went to an 8-man defensive line much of the time to shut down Dickerson. He got 98 yards. First down play it is at the 35-yard line of the Colts. 7-7 game. Second quarter, 6:50 to play in the half. Number 29 loses yards. He's knocked down at the 33-yard line. Eddie Johnson again shaded the block and made the head-on stick on Eric Dickerson. Dickerson now 8 carries, 24 yards. We'll track him every step of the way.
Brown's done a good job of not letting him in the defensive backfield. If you can get Dickerson before he gets to the line of scrimmage, you've won the battle. But as you said, there's Pat Beach going to the sideline now. He's shaken up a little bit. You got to keep trying Eric Dickerson, though, Don. Each time he carries it, he's closer to breaking along.
Trudeau has passed very well. He comes out of that passing program at Illinois. This time, a high pass caroms off the shoulder pads of Brooks, and it was a catchable ball again.
Yeah, Don, I think that the problem that Brooks is having is he's trying to catch the ball with his body. Now, when you're in inclement weather, you put your hands out in front of you as far as you can. Try first to catch it with the hands, and then the body is that's the backup. That's the backboard. Now, watch. He lets this ball get right to him. Now, the ball is thrown high, but that's a very catchable ball. You're absolutely correct, Don. And it would have been about half of what they needed for the first down.
Trudeau having some problems now, and his receivers haven't helped. He's only hit one of his last 5 after starting out 6 for 6. Bentley and Dickerson are both in the backfield. As on 3rd and 11, Trudeau eludes the sack for the moment, and he goes down at the 28-yard line. Dave Pazzulli filling in for the injured Pro Bowl nose tackle Bob Golick. Makes yet another play for the Cleveland Browns on defense.
The thing that Pazzulli does the best here is he keeps the containment. He doesn't get out of the rush lane. You see, Solt 66 is trying to handle him, and when Trudeau steps up, Golick is just in the right place. That's exactly what you'd like to have your nose tackle do, not get out of that pass rush lane.
The Cleveland Brown defense, which ranked number 1 in the American Conference, starting to stand tall now as the Colts have to punt again. Big rush, Stark, an end-over-end punt. It'll bounce in front of Gerald McNeil, and McNeil has to let it roll, and the Colts will down the ball at the Cleveland 33-yard line.
That was a good choice by Gerald McNeil. He told Paul McGuire before the game that he wanted to return one, and you can get a little over-anxious in the playoffs. What you don't want to do, though, is make a big mistake. That was a 38-yard punt. McNeil let it bounce.
At halftime, a complete review of the playoff picture as we go to Bob Costas, Paul McGuire, Ahmad Rashad, Gail Gardner, and Coach Don Shula, the Miami Dolphins. Tomorrow, NBC Sports goes to Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, where Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen bring you the Houston-Denver Bronco game. The Browns, Art Modell, their owner, said took them a full year to get over that playoff loss to the Broncos here a season ago. Now the hopes are high again as the give is to Manoah, and the rookie back powers his way to the 39-yard line. Tim Manoah hasn't gotten the ball off, and that's only the 24th time this season. The first-year player out of Penn State has averaged 5 yards a carry.
And, of course, if you're wondering why Manoah's in there...
Got that Quasimodo neck pack on.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Kevin Mack on the sideline with a stomach virus. We don't know if he'll play at all as Manoah comes out of the ball game. Now 3 wide receivers for Cleveland.
Second down and 4 for the Browns. Game tied 7-7. 4:55 to play. First half, chill factors probably below 0 now. as the handoff is out to the 44-yard line. Ernest Biner ran straight ahead and was knocked down by nose tackle Byron Darby and outside linebacker Dwayne Bickett.
Let me correct myself. I said 3 wide receivers in. Actually, the formation with 2 tight ends, Tennell and Ozzie Newsome. And Ernest Biner now must carry a very heavy load. Normally that's Kevin Mack in the backfield. There's Kevin Mack with the Browns parka pulled up over his head. Right between the Harper and Ray Ellis sitting there, someone getting tape. Pat Beach on the sideline. He went out limping. And taking its toll on players already. Larry Williams, badly sprained ankle, went in to get a tape. They got if he'll come back and play again today as a measurement. The Browns pick up the first down.
Against common opponents this season, Cleveland is 7-2, Indianapolis 4-5. Brown regulars, who were 8-4 this season, were only 1-4 against teams that went to the playoffs. Marty Schottenheimer on the sideline as the Browns offense on the field has been much of the first half in this tie game. Kosar looking deep. Now he takes off. Kosar gets to midfield on a first down scramble. He got 5 yards, knocked down by Dwayne Bickett, number 50.
And again, a great job by Indianapolis disguising coverage. They dropped out of what appeared to be a man-to-man. Bickett, good job just staying in the spot where he should. He's there on the blitz. The offensive left tackle Paul Farron is the blocker. Bickett catches Bernie Kosar from behind, which is not that difficult to do.
But he got 5. Browns have lost 2 starters so far. Kevin Mack sideline with stomach problems. Tackle Larry Williams out with a badly sprained ankle. It's not expected he'll return. Kosar out pattern. He's got a man. Nicely done by Brian Brennan out to the 41-yard line. Brennan turning back at the ball, catches it a foot off the ground. Feet sliding. Freddie Robinson was defending as best he could. It's a first down for Cleveland.
Big cushion by the cornerback of the Indianapolis Colts, and Bernie picks it up immediately. And you can see Eugene Daniel not even anywhere in the picture whatsoever. It looks like 98. Johnny Cooks is supposed to be the man underneath that coverage, but Kosar able to get it to Brennan for a first down.
Now first and 10 for Cleveland. 40-yard line of Indianapolis. 7-7 game, 2:54 to play in the half. Manoa. Not much there, and he's knocked down at the 39-yard line. He'll bring up second and long. Donnell Thompson was on the stop, along with Byron Darby. Ron Meyer, the coach of the Colts, for the great success and the turnabout in that team in the past year, is voted overwhelmingly American Conference Coach of the Year in the past week.
He's done a great job. I think the most difficult thing to do as a coach is take a team that is used to losing, becomes a habit, and turn them around. And he took over the Colts, as you said earlier, 0-13. They win their last 3 games of the season, and they've gone from worst to first. I don't think there's a more difficult thing for a coach and coaching staff to do.
And he said, Trump, when he took over his first meeting, he told them, we're going to win. Right now, I'm not sure how, but we're going to win. They won their last 3 games. Colts are 10-5 since Meyer's taken over the regular. 2-minute warning is given, so we'll be back to Cleveland after this.
We're not a company, but we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it. We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you. As your ability for leadership grows, so will you. Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence. Become a person with a future. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
Who says Chevy's better than Ford? USAC tested standard half-tons with their best automatics and half-ton payloads. 0 to 60, 40 to 55, pylon force handling, full-size Chevy beats Ford. Level and uphill towing acceleration. Chevy with Vortec V6 beat Ford. Which truck should you be driving? USAC test just answered it.
Now, get $500 cash back on new full-size CK pickups.
It's today's Chevy truck.
That's why just one number gets you reservations at any Sheraton in the U.S. or 63 countries worldwide.
NFL plays here, Houston. Their wild card victory proved they weren't jokers as Moon and Company dealt the Seahawks a full hand of Love Ya Blue. The NFL plays here, Denver. But the Broncos hope to have the Oilers singing the blues as the road to the Super Bowl hits a Rocky Mountain high.
The Oilers battle the Broncos. The action starts with NFL Live.
The wind meter in Cleveland is quiet, and that's good. Temperature has dropped, though. It's probably down around 10 degrees now. As the Browns have the ball at the 39-yard line of the Indianapolis Colts, this playoff game is tied 7-7. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, Bernie Kosar at quarterback. Looking deep, letting it go long. A man is open, Langhorne, and he has the ball at the 3-yard line. And he's not done till he gets in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Touchdown pass play. Bernie Kosar to Reggie Langhorne, who is wide open in the middle of the Colt defense.
Excellent formation call by Cleveland. Art Modell, the owner, obviously elated. They put Biner out on the wing. That consumed the free safety, Freddie Robinson. Willie Tullis was covering the wide receiver. No free safety. The deep slant is open, and Kosar puts it right on the money.
Did he? Now Matt Barr out to try the point after. So the Browns make it happen fast. Barr hits it up and good. 1:51 to go in the first half. Cleveland has broken the tie and taken a 14-7 lead.
Now, the ultimate souvenir of Super Bowl 22 comes to you. The official Super Bowl 22 game program. 192 action-packed pages, rosters and lineups, a week-by-week review of the season, and much more. Only $5.95. Send check or money order to Super Bowl 22, Post Office Box 22, Trenton, New Jersey, 08651. That's Super Bowl 22, Post Office Box 22, Trenton, New Jersey, 08651.
These are new citizens to the United States making the first Pledge of Allegiance. I know how they feel. Not long ago, I was one of them. I'm Ford Reyes, originally from Colombia, South America, but now an American citizen and kicker for the NFL's Miami Dolphins. And this is my wife, Gail.
These new Americans are also new United Way volunteers, contributors, and recipients.
The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
From behind the defense, now understand, Pryor, the safety, is drawn up to the line of scrimmage. Ernest Biner is out on the flank. That takes away the middle coverage of the defense. Bernie Kosar reads it perfectly. Langhorne runs an outstanding pattern. And, of course, you're not down till tackle in the NFL. His first catch of the day is for a touchdown and the high five.
Reggie Langhorne from Elizabeth City State. School that produced, among others, Jethro Pugh of Doomsday Defense fame at Dallas.
That's a while ago.
This is a while ago.
A long time between NFL players for Elizabeth City State.
Lee Johnson kicks it off and hits it deep. Albert Bentley runs it back for Indianapolis. And here comes Albert Bentley in open field. He's got to beat the kicker, and Johnson slows him down. And then the tackle is made at the 41-yard line. Mark Harper finally brought him down. Reggie Langhorne with his second touchdown catch of the year, and he really made a play to do it. Two of them, diving catch, and then gets up and powers in.
You can see the good look off by Bernie Kosar, and watch this fingertip catch. No gloves by Langhorne. He's not down yet in the NFL. He gets up, powers into the end zone, 6 points.
Great second look. Our producer today for NBC Sports is George Finkel. Our director, John Gonzalez. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NFL football, Ted Nathanson. The Colts have scored in the last 2 minutes of the first half in 10 of their 15 games. We'll see what they can do now as Trudeau's on the run, looking for the 12th man, and he bails out.
He got no help from his receivers. Once he was flushed out of the pocket, there was nobody for him to throw it to. There's that stat you just gave, Don.
And a reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. 1:35 to go in the first half. Jack Trudeau was a second-round draft choice 2 years ago out of Illinois. He's taking over for the injured Gary Hogeboom. He has hit 56% of his passes. He's thrown this season for 7 touchdowns, including one today. He's been intercepted 6 times. The more he plays, the better he gets. Now he has a 2nd and 5 play coming up. Browns lead 14-7, second quarter. Dickerson, both arms on the ball, gets ahead for 3.
Well, there's one thing about playing the Indianapolis Colts now that they have Eric Dickerson in the offensive backfield as the Colts take a timeout. They have 2 left in the first half. It's very difficult to go to a prevent defense against a team that has a running back the caliber of Eric Dickerson because you have so many people committed to down the field. I'm looking at Langhorne's arm on the sideline. So many people can be committed down the field that if Dickerson gets through that initial defensive line of scrimmage, it's a 20 or 25-yard pickup. What you're forced to do defensively against Dickerson is play it straight. That allows you the chance to throw the ball down through the middle of the defense.
Right now, the 3rd and 1 is coming up. Dickerson doesn't have a whole lot of yards running from scrimmage so far. He's done all the running from scrimmage for Indianapolis, 27 yards on 9 carries. But he can go boom at any time, and nobody knows that better than Coach Schottenheimer. There's Gary Hogeboom. They can't keep him in the lineup. He's had one injury after another, both at Dallas and with the Colts.
And they're not little ding injuries. Dislocated shoulders, broken ribs that puncture his lung, fractured hands.
3rd and 1 for the Colts. Dickerson takes the ball, looks for room, and dives ahead for a first down to the 48-yard line. Mazzulli caught him and held on as you see the game clock ticking on down. 1:18 to go in the first half. 14-7 Cleveland.
Mazzulli, a great job just tripping up Eric Dickerson.
Into the 2-minute offense, and Trudeau with a brief sprint out loops the ball. It was up for grabs. It hit a vacant part of the field. Stops the clock. The big rush was put on a linebacker blitz by Clay Matthews. 1:03 to play in the half.
Clay Matthews, another Pro Bowler for the Cleveland Browns.
Indianapolis, like Cleveland, rocking over the success of the team. Although the Browns have been in the playoffs with divisional championship, they've won the AFC Central 3 straight years. Colts have now been in Indianapolis 4 years. Have not won a playoff game while they were the Baltimore Colts since 1971. That's how long it's been. Well, and again, incomplete ball at the 36-yard line of the Browns and a 2nd and 10 play. Nobody there, and Trudeau got rid of it. Al Baker rushed him, number 60.
Trudeau kind of drew that ball back. Dickerson ran a pattern and kind of stopped in the middle of it. Jack Trudeau tried to draw it back and get it down the field to Bill Brooks. Could not get enough on it. Brings up 3rd down and 10 now for the Colts.
One thing Dickerson does not do a lot of is catch the ball. He only has 13 receptions in his 8 games as an Indianapolis Colt. Trudeau ready to face an all-out rush on 3rd down and 10. Stands in, lets it go. Man is open. Brooks in open field inside the 25 and down to the 19-yard line. There is a penalty marker down at the line of scrimmage, however. Clock stopped with 48 seconds to play. A 28-yard gain on 3rd down and 10 against the best defense in the American Conference.
Mark Harper finally makes the tackle. Offsides defense.
Number 60 of the defense.
Oh, my goodness. It's Baker at the line of scrimmage. Al Baker, the pass rusher. This is an excellent job of pass protection by the Colt offensive line. Trudeau does a great job of waiting for Brooks to get open. Again, it's Hanford Dixon in the coverage. Harper finally saves a touchdown. A huge play for Indianapolis.
Bill Brooks with 3 catches today for 45 yards. He had 7 catches for 84 yards a month ago when the Colts won the upset here at Cleveland Stadium. Trudeau fires. Dickerson gets the ball, and he goes in. So Eric Dickerson, they don't go to him often, but they get to him on the payoff end as he got by Clay Matthews. And Dickerson takes the perfectly thrown ball at the 3, spins off, and takes it in. And again, with Biasucci coming out, the Colts are an extra point away from tying the game a second time.
That's his first touchdown receiving as an Indianapolis Colt. You can understand why the Cleveland Browns not committing a great deal of coverage to Eric Dickerson, but Clay Matthews, their best coverage linebacker, just didn't see the football.
That, Trump, is the 11th time in 16 games that the Colts have scored in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Extra point by Biasucci, spun up and good. And again, we're deadlocked. This time it's 14-all with 42 seconds to play. Let's watch it come right at you.
From behind the defense, the Colts have done a great job of isolating linebacker in coverage on receivers. Trudeau stands in there, Mike Johnson all over him. Clay Matthews never really sees this ball at all. Ends up being a 19-yard touchdown reception. And that's Eric Dickerson's first postseason reception for a touchdown in his career. Look at that, Johnson all over him. Trudeau stands in there. Does an outstanding job. And you see 29 and see if he puts a move on. No, he just runs by Clay Matthews. I think you're going to excuse Clay Matthews. There's no way he's going to match foot speed with Eric Dickerson.
Our NBC statistician Elliot Cal pointing out that Dickerson now has 61 yards and half of it's receiving, or almost 30 yards receiving, 31 yards rushing the ball so far. The bottom line has evened up, 14-all with 42 seconds to play in the bitter cold of Cleveland. 42 seconds to go in the first half.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Dickerson turns around. Matthews does not see the ball coming. The ball is underthrown, and Dickerson able to catch that ball right in his chest.
Home is the dome, of course, for the Colts at the Hoosier Dome, but they've done well, as you know, Trump. Outside on grass field, they're 3-0 in grass fields. One here at Cleveland, also one in San Diego and in Miami.
Well, to this point, this ball game is now favoring the Indianapolis Colts. The longer they can stay close, as big as an underdog as they were coming into this ball game, the more confident they'll be in the second half of this game.
This is not L.A. today for Eric Dickerson, but he's in the end zone again.
This is the third time he's played on this field. Once for the Los Angeles Rams and once for the Colts, and now in the playoffs against Cleveland.
Biasucci again hits a very short kickoff. Coming up on the ball is McNeil, and he's across the 35 to the 36-yard line. With 38 seconds to play, down to make the tackle was June James. So now let's see what Mr. Kosar on the Cleveland offense can do. Twice he's put the ball in the end zone for touchdowns. Once a throw into the end zone, you remember, was intercepted by Freddie Robinson of Indianapolis to stop a drive.
I think you got to try to get points in this situation. They got the win at their back.
Colt defenders way back off the ball, playing in a deep zone. Zone 3 is now they try to get a draw play going. Ernest Biner, but John Hand didn't buy it. He made the knockdown along with Dwayne Pickett.
That's a keep the defense honest play. Some of the people here in the stadium didn't like it. I think that's a good call. You got that defense dropping back. If Biner gets through there, he's going to pop for a long distance.
Indianapolis was the only team to beat the regular Browns squad this season here at Cleveland Stadium. Browns 5-1, their regulars. Second and 12. Kosar takes a look and lets her rip. Going for the ball is Webster Slaughter, and he's picked off. No, he drops it. Eugene Daniel had it and lost it at the 18-yard line. Kosar will set up to fire and fall back again with 3 seconds to go in the first half.
Again, Don, that ball hung up. Now, of course, when it gets cold, your hand shrinks a little bit. You can see this is almost a jump ball here. Daniel comes very close to winning that jump ball when it goes right through his hands. Just 3 seconds left. You might as well try it again. Hope for an interference call way down the field. Around 6 of 8 third downs in this first half.
Kozar's going to have to throw it 60 yards to get it by that deep zone. They go to the run, and Biner trucking on down the field. The clock winds out as Biner goes down at the 46-yard line. Tackled on the play by John Holt and Mike Pryor. The gun sounds, and so Coach Schottenheimer leads his heavily favored Browns to the locker room. As the Indianapolis Colts stood tall, twice coming from behind to tie the game, Ron Meyer has to be pleased after 2 quarters of play. It's a 14-14 game. NFL Live halftime activities will continue in a moment, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Welcome back to our NFL Live studios in New York. Along with Coach Don Shula, I'm Bob Costas. We'll check with Ahmad and Paul from the field in Cleveland in just a moment. Let's check some of the stats first. Trudeau keeping pace with Kozar. 9 of 15, 121 yards, a couple of touchdowns, no interceptions. Kozar, 11 of 19 for 128, a couple of scores, and had that very important pass picked off in the end zone. Unofficially, Eric Dickerson with 32 first-half rushing yards, and, of course, the touchdown reception that led to the tie score at 14 at halftime. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this first half, and the fans are a definite factor all over the Colts, these mongrels in Cleveland Stadium. Here's the first possession for the Browns, and in the first quarter, nothing could be finer than the play of Ernest Biner. He takes it in for the touchdown, capping the drive and a 7-0 lead, but Trudeau is undaunted. Back he comes. Matt Boozer, the veteran, on the receiving end of this one. It's good for 18, sets up first and goal, and after an unsuccessful running play, Trudeau goes with play action. He'll fake a handoff here to George Wansley, and Pat Beach is wide open at the back of the end zone. It's tied at 7. But here's the ill-fated Kozar pass. He probably should not have put this one up. They could have had the field goal for sure. Here's the rookie from Alabama, Freddie Robinson, who played with Mike Shula for the Crimson Tide, comes up with a big interception. Now it's Reggie Langhorne as the Browns get the ball back. He latches onto a 39-yarder, bounces up, hasn't been touched, bulls his way into the end zone, 14-7. Looked like the Browns would have the lead to take to the locker room, but Trudeau patches together a late drive that ends with the 19-yarder to Dickerson. After the PAT, it's tied at 14. You know, Coach, a lot of people gave the Colts a chance. I was one of them, but I thought if they were to win this game, it'd have to be in a game where the winning team scored fewer than 20 and where Biasucci kicked 3 field goals.
And the amazing thing about this ball game is that Dickerson running has not really been a factor in the ball game. It's Trudeau throwing the football and the Colts coming back. Cleveland gets the ball and they score on their first possession. And that was a great drive. Everybody was wondering whether they could execute the kind of weather conditions that they're playing in. But they moved the ball down the field. They have 5 out of 5 third down conversions, and of course, the last one is a 10-yard touchdown pass from Kozar to Biner. Here, Biner comes out of the backfield, and they try to get him isolated on Glasgow, and he comes out, and he gets inside of Glasgow. Now, this is a cardinal sin for the defensive back to let him inside, but he crosses his face. Kozar puts it on the money. He catches it and rolls into the end zone for the first touchdown. But later on, they also... aside from running or throwing the football on third down, they also run with the football. There's a big play on third down and 10 where they pick up 11 yards on a trap draw play. Good play by the guard. Biner again with the ball, picks up the 11 yards. So this keeps the Colt defense off balance. They can't say that every time it's third down and long that they're going to throw the football. And we talked a little bit in the pregame about Kozar's sidearm delivery. Right. I think it hurt him in this. This is a critical play down on the goal line. It's a play-action pass. Kozar gets rushed, and he lets it go. He's been successful doing this, the sidearm delivery. The receiver falls down, and Robinson is there to make the interception in the end zone. That takes away points, potential points, either a field goal or the touchdown pass. But the thing that amazes me about the Colts in this ballgame is that they're in it because they keep coming back throwing the football.
Put yourself in the position of each of the coaches. If you're Schottenheimer, what are you saying to your troops right now?
Well, Schottenheimer has to continue to go after him. Defensively, they've got to do something against the pass. They've done a good job of stopping Dickerson. But they also have to put more heat on the quarterback. I think that Trudeau has had too much time to throw the football, and that's why he's been so successful. I would think that that would be his theme, that they got to put more heat on the quarterback.
How do they do it?
They just have to rush another linebacker. You got to try to get more out of your 3-man rush. There are going to be times where they're going to have to go with 4 people or even 5 people going after the quarterback to try to put pressure on him. They've got some corners that can cover, so they have to take the chance of blitzing the linebackers
to get pressure on the passer.
Yeah, with Dixon and Minifield, you can afford to gamble.
Right. That's exactly right. And they've got some linebackers that can blitz, but they're going to put pressure on it. If you hit the play, it's a big play.
All right, now you're Ron Meyer. What are you saying?
Ron Meyer's got to be pretty happy right now. He's got to think about getting Dickerson in the ball game as far as ball control. This is what everybody thought would be their game plan going into the ball game. Give the ball to Dickerson, ball control, play big defense against the Brown offense, and win the game that way with Biasucci kicking the football, kicking the field goals. He's an accurate kicker. So I would think that they're talking about getting Dickerson into the offense and getting some ball control to go along with a fine passing game that they had in the first half.
We're going to check with Ahmad and Paul in just a minute, but at the beginning of the game, we mentioned that this is the first Browns-Colts playoff game since 1971, but they also met twice at Cleveland Stadium in memorable games in the 60s. NFL title at stake both times, 1964 and 68. You were there.
How well I remember. In 64, Frank Ryan threw 3 touchdown passes against us, and they beat us going away. And then we won the ball game the next time when we played them, 34-0. And this was in 1968, and I'll remember after the ball game, Carol Rosenblum, the owner at that time of the Colts, put his arm around me and he said, Don, he said, I hope that you're the last coach that I ever have to hire.
And 2 weeks later,
2 weeks later, the Jets beat us in the Super Bowl, and Carol started to think about another coach.
You know, I've had that same sort of conversation with the executives here at NBC. It's a very disquieting circumstance. All right, let's go back out to Cleveland. Ahmad Rashad and Paul McGuire are shivering there. Here comes their halftime report. Fellas?
All right, Bobby, you know, one of the things that the Colts have been able to do in this first half is take this crowd right out of the game, Paul. Don't you... Wait a minute.
Haley, look at that coat. It drives me crazy. Oh, hi, Bob.
What about the crowd? They've taken them out of the game.
Well, what happens is when, you score right away and the crowd's in the game and they're talking about what a great defense Cleveland has, and then all of a sudden the Colts just take the ball and go down the field on them, it's going to quiet this place. We were standing up in the stands. You and I have been around this building, and this crowd is really not in the ball game at all.
All right, now, Cleveland came in here intent on stopping Bentley and Dickerson, and so when we get down, let's take a look at their first touchdown drive. This 1st and 10 down on the goal line, and all of a sudden, Bentley gets the ball. You can see that all the linebackers are intent on stopping this guy because he tries to run the ball off the left side, and I mean, they are up and swarming all over him.
Well, remember the first time Dickerson carried the ball in the game, Ahmad, he lost 2 yards. And when you concentrate on the run, what you fail to do is do anything about the pass. And that's where the Colts are really getting to Cleveland. They're throwing the ball all over the ballpark, and Cleveland's worried so much about the run, they forgot the pass. Dickerson scores a touchdown catch.
Well, let's take a look at the second play. It's 2nd down and goal now with all these linebackers crowding the line of scrimmage. All of a sudden, they have a chance for Beach to sneak through and become open in the end zone.
And then you have a linebacker covering on a tight end, which he can't get there, and you see Beach there, just absolutely no one around him. And that's what happens when you worry about the run and you forget about the pass.
Paul, you got to be impressed with the Colts because they all of a sudden Cleveland goes out and score, and they keep coming right back. It's no fluke that they're in this playoff game.
No, I think the key to this second half is that the Colts will get the ball. And if they can take the drive and move it down the field and score, I think the Browns are going to be in trouble. The Browns have to put their defense back in order. Their offense is fine. Defensively, they're not doing anything.
Now they think that they've really put a stop on Eric Dickerson, but he's the kind of back that you can hold for 3 quarters. All of a sudden, he'll break that long run.
And you don't want to cover him with a linebacker because of his tremendous speed.
You know what? The last 2 times that the Browns have played in the playoff games, it's gone to overtime. It may happen again.
I don't think so. This game will be over. The Cleveland Browns will get it all together and do it the second half.
Hey, Bobby, back to you. This man is nuts.
Yeah, that's in the category of understatement. Can you imagine some poor soul? He was up late last night. He just turns it on right in the middle of this thing, and here's some guy with a snout barking into somebody's ear.
He thinks my coat is something else. I don't know what's wrong with it. Earring last week, nose this week.
We'll be back to you two vaudevillians a bit later in the day, but right now let's get a preview of the game coming up in the NFC. The Vikings will try and make it 2 in a row on the road. They upset the Saints a week ago. An even tougher test coming up against the 49ers at Candlestick Park. Our Gary Gerald is there with this preview. Gary?
Well, Bob, by Bay Area standards, it's not the prettiest of days here in San Francisco. It's gloomy and overcast. There is a light mist and rain falling. It has been raining overnight. The field at Candlestick Park is covered. A lot of rain did come down during the night, but they're hoping that the turf will be in good shape for this playoff encounter between the 49ers and the Vikings. Now, we do not have to worry about sub-freezing temperatures. There's no wind chill factor. There is no threat of snow. It looks like temperatures will be in the mid-50s here at kickoff a couple of hours from now. Minnesota, of course, has come to Northern California from Arizona, where they've been working out at the University of Arizona. And Jerry Burns has indicated that Wade Wilson will be his starting quarterback this afternoon. Tommy Kramer, of course, is available if there are any problems for Wilson and the Vikings offense. Bill Walsh, on the other hand, says he'll go with Joe Montana. No surprise there, although Montana says he is still somewhat bothered by that hamstring injury that he suffered a few weeks ago. If he encounters any difficulty, Steve Young is ready to step in on a moment's notice. Bill Walsh, incidentally, was hired 9 years ago to the day to take over the reins of the San Francisco 49ers organization, and in that reign, he has yet to lose a playoff game here at Candlestick Park. He's hoping that his ball club will take another step toward a third Super Bowl appearance this afternoon. That's our situation a couple of hours before kickoff, Bob. Back to you in New York from Candlestick Park in San Francisco.
Okay, Gary, thanks very much. And we'll return to Cleveland Stadium for the kickoff starting the second half as we rejoin Don Criqui and Bob Trumpy following these messages from your local stations.
It's not getting any warmer in Cleveland, where the Colts and the Browns are tied up at halftime, 14-all. And it was interesting at halftime, Bob Trumpy, that no less an authority than Coach Shula said Ron Meyer has to feel pretty good at this point about his chances. It was Meyer who said before the season, when everyone was referring to his ball club as the Indianapolis Dolts, that I like our chances. And they've been playing pretty solid football. The most impressive thing is that a young quarterback has twice rallied them from behind to tie the game.
Yeah, I think one of the real keys for Indianapolis in that first half is the balance in their offense. They threw the ball 15 times. They ran the ball 12 times. And I think it's confused Cleveland a little bit. And I also don't believe that Cleveland felt that this young Indianapolis Colt team with very little playoff experience would have the comeback capability that it's displayed already. The only turnover, the interception, would certainly cost the Cleveland Browns at least 3 points. That was right down at the goal line. I think the most impressive thing is just the third down conversions for both of these football teams down. They're going up and down the field. But let me make this point. In the first quarter, Kevin Mack for Cleveland had 6 carries for 38 yards, 3 receptions for 17 yards, 55 yards in a quarter, and he's still out with that stomach flu. Tim Manoa is nowhere close to the replacement of Kevin Mack. Eventually, I do believe that injury or that illness to Kevin Mack is going to be a huge factor in this football game, because you've got Biner, who is a great receiver. Now you got to give him the ball. He's got to carry it in the rush. You're going to wear him out to a certain extent. And I do believe
you're ready, man. We're going to get you on the kickoff team.
This guy is the biggest guy on the offense for the Cleveland Browns in the second half. He's got to carry almost 80% of the load.
Dave Pizzuli's done a big job also filling at nose tackle for the injured Bob Golick. It is interesting on this bitter cold day that the turnovers have been so few. There has been just the one that I can recall. That was the interception by Fred Robinson in the end zone of Kosar to stop what appeared to be a sure touchdown drive. Browns had it at the Indianapolis 2. No fumbles yet. We had Mack cough the ball up on the first carry of the day, but he got it back. And since then, there's been no balls fumbled away.
On the positive side for Indianapolis, you've got Eric Dickerson for the rest of the game. Being a 14-14 score, and Paul McGuire mentioned that Indianapolis gets the ball to start the second half. And Don Shula mentioned now it's the time to get Eric Dickerson in the ball game. In the pregame show, we said the Colts have a chance to win this game if they can keep their offense in balance and go to Eric Dickerson in the fourth quarter. He's the guy who will win the game for you. Consider also Dean Biasucci. The kind of season he's had, it may come down to a field goal. I don't imagine Marty Schottenheimer is very comfortable right now. He's got some concerns.
Yesterday, Coach Ron Meyer was telling us of his relationship with Trudeau. He said, Trudeau thinks I don't like him. He said, that's not true. He said, I just don't think he's as good a quarterback as Hogaboom, but he's getting better all the time. He's only in his second year. But he had his best passing game ever here at Cleveland in the upset in December, and he's doing it again today. And this kickoff is sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers. Line drive kick that Albert Bentley could have a problem with. Takes it at the 6. Looks for a blocking channel, and there's nothing there for Albert Bentley as he's to the 15, and that's it. So the Browns cover nicely as they squib kick the ball down the middle of the field, and the Indianapolis Colts will start out the third quarter, 1st and 10. Here comes Trudeau.
And it's ironic, this is exactly where Cleveland started their first drive to begin the game, at their own 15-yard line. Of course, they went 15 plays, 86 yards to score. 2 touchdowns aside, both on throws. 2 for Kosar, 2 for Trudeau.
Eric Dickerson held down so far. Here comes Beard for battle. There's every piece of protective equipment available. And with good reason. Every one of those 11 guys on the right would like to knock him out of the game. Downfield throw out to the 22-yard line. Nicely done. Caught by Matt Booza.
The only turnover of the game is pass into the end zone intended for Eric Tunnell, the tight end. He falls down. Robinson makes the interception. It's Derek Tunnell. Cost the Cleveland Browns points.
Gain of 6 yards on the play as Bill Brooks comes out wide to the right. He's against Minifield, the other Pro Bowl corner Hanford Dixon wide to the right. He's against Booza. As a screen pass goes to Eric Dickerson. He gets a block from Solt, and he's out to the 30-yard line, and the Colts have a first down. Mike Johnson, an inside linebacker, number 51, made the stop for Cleveland.
This has got to be blowing Cleveland's mind defensively. They expect Eric Dickerson to carry the ball so much in first and second down, and they go to the screen to him. Great job out front by Solt, Donaldson, and then Dickerson puts his head down, hammers into Frank Minifield, good enough for a first down.
Linebackers for the Browns, there's Eddie Johnson, Lucius Sanford, Mike Johnson, and Clay Matthews the other, as Dickerson carries. Shifting step, looking to break it for the moment, but he only gets a couple of yards on a first down carry as Eddie Johnson and Frank Minifield made the stop for Cleveland.
One thing you like about Eric Dickerson, you watch what he reads up front. Sometimes he'll completely bust a play, and he reads the opponent's helmets there. Looks for that little gap in the defense. That time, Eddie Johnson able to make penetration and shut him down at the line of scrimmage. Now, this is the down that's really confused Cleveland. Indianapolis done a great job second down and long so far in this game.
Some unlikely totals for Dickerson, Trump. He has more yards receiving than he does rushing in the game. Here he goes again with the ball. Eric Dickerson is across the 35-yard line on a 2nd and 8 play out to about the 37, where Pazzulli, number 72, is making plays all over the field, was on the stop with an extra defensive back, number 23, Mark Harper.
First drive of the day they score, last drive of the first half they score. You can feel the confidence building in this Indianapolis Colts team, given very little chance to compete, to keep it close against Cleveland.
The local papers have the Browns favored by more than 7 points. 3rd down and 4 for Trudeau. Timing pattern. Albert Bentley makes the reception somehow at the 49-yard line. Out of the backfield comes Albert Bentley for a 14-yard gain, and the Colts drive on.
That time, Mark Harper in coverage. Well thrown by Jack Trudeau. Again, great pass protection. Time for Trudeau to throw. Don Shula mentioned at halftime that the Browns are not getting a lot of pressure on Trudeau. Bentley, a very sure-handed receiver, picks up a big first down for Indianapolis.
Got 35 passes in the regular season, did Albert Bentley, 2 for touchdowns. Now the Colts on the Brown side of the field, and Dickerson is popped. Shoulder pad high, coming up the middle to get him was Pazzulli.
Pazzulli is having a great game against Pro Bowl center Donaldson. You see, he takes his side on Donaldson, and he's there to make the tackle before Eric Dickerson can barely get a step off.
Pazzulli is an aspiring pro wrestler, and he's replacing Bob Golick, was an All-American wrestler at Notre Dame, as well as an All-American linebacker.
A real wrestling type. Golick was. Real. We're talking real.
2nd down and 11. Trudeau in deep trouble is swept under. Mike Johnson sacks him, and Trudeau slow getting up.
First sack of the day for either team.
The field frozen solid as a rock. And a holding call on the defense on the play.
That will nullify the sack.
Give the Colts a first down.
Holding. Number 50 on the defense. First down.
Lucius Sanford, number 50, holding on the defense.
Browns. I've never seen a city as revved up over a playoff game as Cleveland has been. It's been a long wait here in Cleveland. They've not won a National Football League championship since 1964, when on a bitter cold December day, the Browns shut out the Baltimore Colts 27-0. First down. Pitch back Eric Dickerson. Reverse and back to Trudeau.
Live ball.
Trudeau dumps it off to Bill Brooks, and he's on the run. Big Daddy Hairston can't get him, and Brooks is down to the 30. Looked like something the Marx brothers drew up, but it worked.
That's not the way they put it on the blackboard, but it ended up being a very positive play.
Says I'll take it.
No. This is read perfectly by the Cleveland Browns. You can see Clay Matthews is there. Ends up being a 15-yard pickup. The ball is still live. Nice little shovel pass forward to Bill Brooks. Ends up being a 15-yard pass, completed pass. First down, Indianapolis.
It's like one of those NFL films, Follies plays.
That's the one you run in your backyard.
But it was good for a first down, and now the Colts go to Dickerson, and this time cutting back. He breaks into the open field and has a first down, and takes the ball down to the 18 or 17-yard line of Cleveland. Mike Johnson making the stop for the Browns, as both teams today have opened the ball game. First drive of the day by Cleveland for a touchdown, and the Colts now driving here in the third quarter.
Now look at this. This play is designed to go to the right. He cuts all the way back with very little blocking. The responsibility of the offensive line in front of an Eric Dickerson is when you make contact, keep contact. He will be there in a second. There's no way he should gain yards. He had no blocking whatsoever. Still picks up 10.
8:50 to go. Third quarter. Game is tied in bitter cold at Cleveland, 14-14. The underdog Colts challenging as Eric Dickerson takes it right up the middle behind a trap block and shoots down to the 9-yard line.
Pazzulli on the tackle, just able to get a hand out. He went by Pazzulli so quickly that Pazzulli really couldn't make the tackle. Watch what happens. Donaldson delays. And you see Pazzulli just gets his arm out there to slow him down, trip him up. I think Dickerson scores. That Cleveland defense right now wondering about itself. A little bit of disarray.
Colts at the Cleveland 10-yard line. Second down and 4 for the first down. Not much there for Eric Dickerson, and a penalty marker comes in from the referee, and a holding call is signaled against Indianapolis. So the Colts will be set back. Darrell Sims was putting the rush on.
I believe that Donaldson, the center. Let's see if it was on the center.
Holding.
Art
Number
Modell
66
watching.
on the offense. Still second down.
He sees the flag. Takes it back 10 yards. I think it's second and 14. Ron Solt.
Trudeau hot throwing the ball again from 7 in a row now.
This is now the 10th play of the drive, too. I'd look for that Dickerson screen right here. Let's see if they come up with it. It's worked in the past.
Dickerson fastens the chin strap. Trudeau, 6'3", 215 pounds. Big, strong, ready to face the rush, and here it comes from the Browns. Trudeau, wobbly ball, up for grabs. Is it intercepted? It is by the Cleveland Browns. Felix Wright comes down with the ball, and Cleveland has stopped the Indianapolis drive.
Ball was intended for Matt Bouza. Trudeau shouldn't have thrown it. This ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, but Eddie Johnson is bearing down on him, gets his hand on the ball, it's up for grabs, and Felix Wright comes up with the Cleveland Browns' first interception of the day.
In my 14 years, I've seen incredible changes. The Chrysler TC by Maserati, soon a new Imperial on Fifth Avenue, but now the new Chrysler New Yorker. Elegant styling, luxurious ride, the longest protection plan, and Chrysler's Crystal Key program. Complete car coverage that's even better than Rolls-Royce or Mercedes. New Yorker gives you everything.
Shearson Lehman Brothers, E.F. Hutton, January 1988. Where we stand. We believe interest rates will go down. Therefore, we recommend locking in today's high rates by buying municipal bonds, treasury bonds, corporate bonds, and long-term CDs. Which of these investments are right for you? Talk with us. Shearson Lehman Brothers and E.F. Hutton.
Nowadays, when it comes to telecommunications, there's a great deal of confusion. With so many different products and services available, it's a real problem knowing what's just right for your company. Well, we have a way to end that confusion and solve those problems. We can help custom tailor an entire telecommunications system to your company's exact needs. No. GTE.
Today's game is brought to you by Chrysler. Chrysler believes a luxury car should be a great driving car. At Chrysler, we're driving to be the best. By GTE. GTE. And by Embassy Suites Hotels, where you get a beautiful two-room suite for the price of a single room. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Bitter cold Cleveland Stadium. The Browns have stopped the Colts' long drive. The game still tied 14-14 as Kosar puts it up on first down and makes the connection to Ozzie Newsome. The 576th reception of his great career. And the Wizard of Oz gets the Browns out for an 8-yard gain.
Don, at halftime, Don Shula mentioned that Marty Schottenheimer was going to have to commit more guys to pressure on Jack Trudeau. Here it is. Eddie Johnson, the blitz up the middle. It produces the turnover. And the Colts had the ball for better than 7 minutes on that drive, but get no points.
Each of these 24-year-old quarterbacks with 2 touchdown throws today, each with an interception. Miner tries the middle. Colts are big up front, and those big, powerful linebackers throw him back. Johnny Cooks, Cliff Odom, Barry Krause, and Dwayne Bickett back the line for Ron Meyer's Indianapolis Colts. Donnell Thompson, Byron Darby, and John Hand, the front 3. Willie Tullis and Eugene Daniel are at the corners. Freddie Robinson and Mike Pryor are the deep backs.
First down pickup by the Cleveland Browns. Keep the drive alive.
270-pound Texan Mike Babb, who played for the University of Texas, down over the ball at center. The Browns now with a 1st and 10 play at their 25. He's got the ball at the 43-yard line. Again, Indianapolis is unable to defend the rhythm timing pattern of the Cleveland Browns. That an 18-yard turnout, and Kosar right there on the break with the ball to Ozzie Newsome.
First 2 catches of the day for Ozzie Newsome. Last time the Cleveland Browns played the final game of the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Oz had 6 catches for 94 yards, his best day of the season. Kosar does a good job of looking off. He knows where he's going all day long. Newsome, nice job keeping his feet in. Another first down, Cleveland.
So the Browns move it out after the interception that stopped the Colts' opening drive of the second half. Kosar ready to put it up on first down again. Sidearm throw. The ball is dropped at the 39-yard line. Webster Slaughter had it and lost it. He's a talking wide receiver. He'll chat with those defensive backs
and never stop. I think one of the problems Bernie Kosar has when he throws the ball sidearm is the ball tends to sink. You see that happen a great deal when Bernie, at the last second, just flips that ball out there sidearm. That baby dives for the ground. Almost like a slider, a curveball thrown by a Major League pitcher.
Jack Trudeau, looking like a downhill skier, ready for his next run, waits on the sidelines as Kosar operates now. 2nd down and 10, Cleveland. For grabs. And the Colts can't hold on to it. The nearest man to it, Mike Pryor, and on the one hop, Fred Robinson got it, so it goes as a long out. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 10 Browns.
Boy, did Kosar get hammered. Dwayne Bickett came on the blitz on the outside. Paul Farron, the offensive left tackle, 74. Bickett with a nice move. Watch this shot on Bernie. Boy, that turf feels a lot harder when you hit with 255 pounds on top of you.
Dwayne Bickett's had a spectacular year. One of the highest players drafted when he came out of Southern California 3 years ago.
Look at that. Look at that.
Colts picked Dwayne Bickett ahead of such all-pro talents as Jerry Rice and Al Toon. Don't regret it. He's been the hub of a fine defense. 3rd and 10 for Kosar. Sidearm throw, and he makes the connection to Brian Brennan for a Cleveland first down at the 45-yard line of Indianapolis. A 12-yard gain on 3rd and 10. Terry Wright was defending along with Eugene Daniel, but Brennan made the connection with Kosar.
That's 8 of 10 third downs converted by the Cleveland Browns today. Kosar's with Brennan all the way. Brennan knows he's going to get hammered. He finds the weak spot, the dead spot in the zone, hangs on for the first down pickup.
Undersized overachiever, they call Brian Brennan the all-time leading receiver for Boston College. When Flutie was his battery mate, now it's first down and 10 for Cleveland. Miner looking for a hole, finds something, gets down to the 40-yard line. Gain of 4 on the play. Cliff Odom and Byron Darby were on the tackle.
I don't know, Don, that I have ever been in a ball game where each team has had so many long and sustained drives. I mean, it's remarkable. Both of these football teams in zero weather, hanging onto the football, converting the third downs up and down the field, and only 28 points scored. This is an all-timer to this point.
One turnover each way. 14-14, third quarter as Kosar looks deep again. Long ball to Newsom, and Ozzie Newsom comes down with it all. Inside the 25-yard line. And again, the 5-time All-Pro tight end beats the defense, turning out, and Kosar lobs a soft spiral right into his hands.
That's not only Ozzie's third catch of the day, that's his third catch on this drive. 17 yards. Newsom gets a good release off the line of scrimmage inside of Johnny Cooks. He's got double coverage out there. Cooks underneath, still able to catch it, keep his foot in bounds. Another first down.
The old pro in his 10th year from Alabama. Love down the field and off here in Cleveland, Ohio. Now has 3 catches for 43 yards, and the Browns in this tie playoff game drive on. Kosar out pattern again. Fontenot drives, and does he have it? He does. The Browns again make the connection on the timing pattern. Kosar again firing before his receiver breaks, and again the ball is right there when he turns.
Don, this is the way it works in practice. This doesn't happen in games. Now watch the way he drags his back foot. Look at that. Oh, man, is that beautiful or is that beautiful? Knowing, sensing where that sideline is, it's not supposed to be this easy. Not just for Cleveland, for Indianapolis, too.
Browns with the out patterns, moving the ball down the field. Now they begin to look at the end zone of Indianapolis. First and 10 inside the Colt 20. Miner to the 16-yard line. Byron Darby was on the stop again. The nose tackle as linebacker Dwayne Bickett came across. Donnell Thompson also on the play for the Colts as the game clock winding on down to 3:55 to play. Third quarter. The game tied 14-all.
Upcoming the 11th play in this drive. The Colts had the ball for the first 7+ minutes of the third quarter. The Browns have had it the rest of the time. Is it possible we'll have one drive by each team in the third quarter?
George Hill, the defensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts. And a man that Marty Schottenheimer openly admires for his talent. He said he's one of the very best. Now the Browns go at the Indianapolis defense. A straight-ahead power play on a first down carry is down to the 6-yard line. Ernest Feiner got the call again as Kevin Mack has been out since early in the first quarter with a virus, intestinal flu.
Byron Darby on the tackle. I absolutely marvel at both these teams' ability offensively to go up and down the field. This drive started at Cleveland's own 14-yard line.
So reminiscent of an earlier drive at this end of the field by the Browns, though, and the end zone throw was intercepted by Freddie Robinson. Second down carry. Feiner up the middle. He's close, but he's not in. Down to about the 1-yard line. Second down and 4.
Dwayne Bickett makes the tackle from behind.
touchdown comes up.
It does not appear, I take it back, the Browns can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Extra big people sent in. Manoa.
The Browns have been phenomenal this season, as you know, Trump, inside the opponent's 20. Over 85% of the time, they've gotten either a touchdown or a field goal when they've been down inside the 20. Kosar sees something he doesn't like. And at this critical time, with third down on the yard coming up, he calls timeout to get some counsel. Back to Cleveland after this.
Fans, please.
Mr. Garfield, welcome to Embassy Suites Hotel.
My room.
Here, you get a suite for about the price of a room at most Marriotts or Hyatts.
Beautiful. Don't change a thing.
The living room, sir.
Love what you've done with this room.
The bedroom.
This is great. I need my space.
And, of course, you'll want to take advantage of Embassy Suites' free breakfast.
Food.
Served every morning.
At Embassy Suites, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
I resemble that remark.
The first thing everyone asks, is it Corinthian leather? Of course, we want the best. You know, I've been in the business a long time, so these are the little rewards. It's the same with our car. Oh, I know it's no surprise that it's the new Chrysler New Yorker. What is important, it gives you the one thing you always wanted in a luxury car. Everything. I could list features all day, but it's more than luxurious leathers or New Yorker's fuel-injected V6 with front-wheel drive or even four-wheel anti-lock brakes on a self-leveling suspension. Tell me, who else gives you Chrysler's 7-year or 70,000-mile protection plan? Or the exclusive Crystal Key program, complete car coverage with owner care that's even better than you get from Rolls-Royce or Mercedes. That's how you deserve to be treated, isn't it? But only New Yorker gives you the one thing you always wanted in a luxury car. Everything.
Being in there.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui back at Cleveland Stadium on an Arctic field, frozen tundra. The Browns have stopped Indianapolis on their opening drive of the second half after a long sustained drive on an interception. And now Cleveland on the excellent passing of Bernie Kosar, primarily to tight end Ozzie Newsome. And the Browns are down, challenging to go ahead for a third time in the game.
We show Haley because he's an eligible receiver.
It's 14-14. Browns led 7-0, then 14-7. Colts have never led in this game. And Feiner, and he didn't get there. Yes, he did. A second push. Got it in as the linesman comes in. Arms raised. And it's a touchdown call for the Cleveland Browns. And again, they've taken the lead, this for a third time.
I know I'm repeating myself, but I don't know that I've ever seen a game that has had longer drives than this one. That's a 13-play, 86-yard drive. Exactly the way the Cleveland Browns started the game. A 15-play, 86-yard drive. Great block by Manoa up front. Ernest Biner on second effort gets in the end zone. Had the ball almost 6 minutes. There's 1:56 to go in the third quarter.
Matt Barr puts the extra point up and good. So the Cleveland Browns score first in the second half. And they take a 21-14 lead.
Eddie Johnson came up with the interception. That started the Cleveland Browns' first drive of the second half. He put the pressure on, caused the sack, or the interception, and resulting points.
She moves, attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way she moves me, I don't want to leave her.
Its power will move you. Its beauty will stop you. The LeBarons, coupe and convertible. Only from Chrysler. LeBarons are beauty with a passion for driving.
Now get $770 cash or 7.7% financing on new LeBaron coupes.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Memories. Nothing evokes them like the house they grew up in. The first stairway he climbed. The first railing they peeked through. The first banister she floated down. All part of the reason the Allstate Home Replacement Cost Guarantee exists. To help rebuild your home, whatever the cost, right down to the spot where Dad hung his hat. The Allstate Home Replacement Cost Guarantee. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Like Larry, Moe, and Curly. Fast cars and fancy shoes. Like Buffalo Bob and a lucky dog. And like cats who sing the blues.
I'm an American original. The first draft beer in a can. Tapping ice cold Coors with a friend of yours.
Brewery fresh draft beer in bottles and cans. That's been Coors for over 25 years. Taste the original today.
Put a 12-ounce keg in your hand.
The NFL plays here, Houston. Their wild card victory proved they weren't jokers as Moon and Company dealt the Seahawks a full hand of Love Ya Blue. The NFL plays here, Denver. But the Broncos hope to have the Oilers singing the blues as the road to the Super Bowl hits a Rocky Mountain high. The Oilers battle the Broncos. The action starts with NFL Live.
We're going to the pitch.
Ernest Finer on the payoff end for a second time today. Remember that touchdown pass from 10 yards out he caught to open the scoring. From East Carolina, 5'10", 215-pounder who delivers play after play. Running, blocking, catching. Here comes Albert Bentley for the Colts. Across the 25, and that piston drive in his legs takes him to the 29-yard line. As we again look at the Cleveland Browns' third touchdown of the day, handoff. Ernest Finer, head down, hit hard. Cliff Odom gets him, but he breaks the crust and gets through for the score.
This branch office automation project was a monster. I figured a good workout would help me work things out. At Hewlett-Packard, the only way we come up with something that isn't what everyone else would do is to keep asking those questions.
Triple mileage on American can't beat us. Delta with extra mileage falls short. And United's extra mileage program doesn't come close. The fastest free trip on any worldwide airline is still Northwest World Perks. Fly round trip from now until March 31st, and we'll match the Northwest miles you fly in 1988. You can get a free trip after flying only 10,000 miles, Europe for 20,000, and Asia for 30,000. World Perks. No other airline can match it.
I love discovering the Americas. Plymouth Horizon America. Sticker price only $59.95. Same price without the sticker. Then I discovered Plymouth Reliant America. Best equipped at lowest price at any car in class. What wonderful values. Both front-wheel drive, both protected longer than Russian winter.
What a country.
All the excitement and raw enthusiasm of college basketball is back on NBC. Next Saturday, Walt Hazzard leads the UCLA Bruins into Freedom Hall to battle Denny Crum and the Cardinals of Louisville. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC.
Site of Super Bowl 22. Later this month. Right now, the Colts are down for a third time in the game, trailing 21-14. 1:46 to go, third quarter. Here's Eric Dickerson. He bounces to the outside and turns the corner as a marker is down at the line of scrimmage.
Again, he goes against where the play is designed to go. Let's watch the touchdown again by Cleveland. Watch the right guard. Tim Manoa, the fullback, gets a great lead block with the center, but watch what happens when Biner hits Dan Fike. Just fires him in the end zone. Second effort by Biner, and he gets in for the score. The penalty is going to go against the Indianapolis Colts. Once again, the Colts had two men in motion. Illegal procedure. What's happening is the tight end is not putting his hand down. And because of that, they consider him in motion.
But the Colts are going to have to keep throwing the ball successfully to come back on Cleveland. And those all-pro linemen have to protect the young quarterback, Trudeau, who's played very well. It must continue to as Indianapolis continues to find itself down by 7. That's been their story in the game. They come back to tie as the ball goes to Dickerson. Sutter stepping, then taking on the defense, and that first and 15 play is good for a gain of only 2 yards. Fazuli came across again.
Yeah. And Sam Clancy, look at the drives for the Colts scores today. 17 plays resulting in 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the Browns' number is even more remarkable. We'll give them to you when they take over the offense.
Ray Donaldson, a Pro Bowl center, out and over the ball. Chris Hinton, a Pro Bowl tackle on the left side. Ron Soll, a Pro Bowl guard on the right side. Kevin Paul and Ben Utt, the 2 other offensive blockers in this huge front for the Colts. Averages over 290 pounds. Oh, and a catch. Eric Dickerson is knocked down at the 32-yard line.
Big tackle.
Short game, good for about 6 on a 2nd and 14 play.
That was Lucius Sanford. He had him, Dickerson, man-on-man coverage. Dickerson gave him just a little hip fake. That's a big tackle. Brown's doing a great job of shutting down the downfield receivers. Well, that's a big tackle, because if Sanford doesn't make it, that's a first down pickup by Dickerson.
We're inside. 20 seconds now to play in the 3rd quarter. Colts will have the wind at their back. In the 4th quarter, it's not a strong wind, though. Trudeau on 3rd down and 8. Stands in, dumps it off, and Dickerson can't hold on, and Indianapolis has to punt the ball with 3 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Don, that's one of the few times today the Browns have been able to shut the Colts down on 3rd down. Both teams have been spectacular on 3rd downs. This is an outlet pass to Eric Dickerson. Good coverage down the field. The Colts 6 of 9 in 3rd down conversions. That's a big stop by the Cleveland Browns. They've regained some control of this football game.
These 2 teams have been a storied part of the National Football League. Both came in as All-America Conference teams in 47, the other league at the time. One taken back by McNeil to the 49-yard line. So the Browns with a 7-point lead start this drive with good field position as we now have the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, Cleveland 21, Indianapolis 14, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
The girl he loves is trapped behind the Berlin Wall, and he'll do anything to get her back.
Come on, kid, run.
Tony Danza, Freedom Fighter, a world premiere movie, Monday.
Before you spend your hard-earned money to buy a new car, truck, boat, or recreational vehicle, investigate FedLease from First Federal Savings of Toledo. FedLease is long-term flexible financing. With FedLease, you get simple interest financing, the elimination of large down payments, lower monthly payments, top quality, low maintenance vehicles or boats with the quality options you have chosen. First Federal Savings of Toledo. Call and ask them about FedLease, the smart money alternative.
It's awfully cold out here at Dunn Chevy Olds, but inside you'll find the warmest atmosphere of any Toledo area car dealer. Right now, Dunn has up to $1,500 rebates on Chevy cars and up to $2,000 rebates on Oldsmobiles. You'll find bonuses of up to $1,250 on tough Chevy trucks. Dunn has the area's largest selection and lowest prices, so come on out and celebrate the holidays with Dunn Chevy Olds, home of the good people in Oregon.
You put a lot into life. You deserve to get the most out of it. At New York Life, we have the resources to make the most of your resources. A New York Life agent can offer a wide range of financial opportunities, including tax-deferred annuities, universal life, pension plans, IRAs, and business and personal insurance programs. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Get the most out of life with New York Life. Call a New York Life agent today at 244-8311. Your home team, 13 News, this weekend.
We talked to field position at the outset, Trump, and how important it was to both teams, and yet when the Browns had to go the long field, they've done it 3 times.
Remarkable. I mean, in 70-degree weather, perfect conditions, those are remarkable numbers.
We've got chill factors below 0 in Cleveland now as the Browns with a 1st and 10 at the Indianapolis 49-yard line. Opening play of the 4th quarter, 21-14 Cleveland. Heiner takes breaks on tacklers and just bangs his way down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 9 yards on the play. Tackle made by the free safety, Freddie Robinson.
This is the best field position for the Cleveland Browns to start a drive today. That punt by Ron Stark, 34 yards, a 16-yard return. That's just 18 net yards. And for the first time today, the Browns start inside the 50-yard line. And Ernest Biner, great second effort today, really carrying the load with Kevin Mack out.
Mack has been out with an upset stomach since early in the first quarter. Slaughter to the left at the top of your screen. Brown's best deep threat. Langhorne has caught a long touchdown pass, number 88, the lower portion. And Kosar calls a timeout. The Browns have just one remaining.
We're not a company, but no company has more pride in what they do, or more pride in how well they do it. We offer you a meaningful and fulfilling future, one that goes far beyond the ordinary, one that brings with it the respect and admiration of Americans everywhere. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
My brother thinks he's bought the perfect TV.
Sure did. Perfect TV.
Oh, yeah?
Perfect.
Does it have a flat square picture, too?
Yep.
High-resolution filter?
Yep.
178-channel capability?
Roger.
4-speaker stereo system?
Yep, right there.
On-screen graphics?
Yep.
A remote that controls this TV, wireless cable, and VCR, even if they're different brands.
Hey, I got a Magnavox.
Smart, Tom. Very smart.
Yeah, I know. Acting dumb is just my job.
Doing a great job.
Check out time, Garfield.
Check out.
Embassy Suites Hotel was a great idea, huh? We got a 2-room suite with a wet bar and a refrigerator.
So what's the big rush?
And all for about the same price as a room in most Marriotts or Hyatts. There's even a free cook-to-order breakfast every morning.
Delicious.
What a great place to do business.
That settles it. We're staying.
At Embassy Suites Hotels, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
No, but it doesn't hurt.
The lights are on and the temperature is dropping on the shores of Lake Erie as the Cleveland Browns hold to a 21-14 lead. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy, and Trump, this could be the knockout punch if the Browns can take it in here.
I agree with you, Don. I think this is the take control of the game drive for the Cleveland Browns. That's why Bernie Kosar was being very careful. Saw a formation he didn't like, takes the timeout. You can't make a mistake here.
Straight ahead run, and Biner on a 2nd and 1 might have enough for the first down. He'll be close.
Third quarter stats to this point. The Colts have rushed for a grand total of 58 yards. You can see that's the major change in the Colts offense. Time of possession very even. The one turnover. The interception caused by the pass rush of Eddie Johnson on Jack Trudeau, a ball that never should have been thrown. Mark Harper with the interception. And the drive continues for Cleveland.
Long count for Kosar. Timing pattern. Out it goes, and this time Ozzie Newsome doesn't hold on at the 33-yard line of Indianapolis. Bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns at the 37-yard line. We talked earlier of how the Cleveland fans have been waiting so long for a winner. Their last National Football League championship, 1964, when the Browns beat the Colts in a shutout that day, and the last baseball championship here was in 54.
Bernie Kosar was 1 year old in 1964.
Art Modell, the president of the Browns, intent, you would expect on this big day in Cleveland with over 80,000 jamming his ball yard. Browns trying to come back from that bitter disappointment of a year ago as Newsome is open inside the 20-yard line. Down to the 15, and again it's the down and out timing pattern with Kosar releasing the ball before his receiver makes the break. This one good for 22 yards, and the Browns challenge again.
And again, it's linebacker coverage on Newsome. This time, middle linebacker Cliff Odom. Kosar puts it right on the money. You can see 93 trying to catch up with Ozzie Newsome. I like that, too. They throw the ball to Newsome. He drops one. Says, give me another chance. Next play, right back to him. 4 Huge catches for Ozzie Newsome in his second half today.
The Browns looking to go to the American Conference Championship game for a second straight year. They'll meet, if they win this, the victor of the Denver-Houston game tomorrow, which you'll see on NBC Sports. Right now on first down, the handoff goes to Biner. Running with a vengeance, he takes the ball down to the 11-yard line. Tackled by the middle of the Indianapolis defense up the bottom of the pile is Donnell Thompson.
That AFC Conference Championship game will either be here or in Denver.
Denver should beat Houston tomorrow. The Broncos would be on their home field at Mile High. If Houston should upset the Broncos, then the AFC Championship game would be here in Cleveland for a second straight year.
Just saw a picture of Ron Meyer. He's got to be very pleased with the performance of his team to this point. Very pleased.
Long way to go. 12:56 to play in the game. Browns lead by 7, challenging to up that margin to 14.
Wait a minute.
That's the last time out.
Yep. You had Slaughter and Brennan both going in motion. It looked like a long-distance do-si-do, and Bernie knew that wasn't right.
Round of lights here?
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
These days, you gotta stay on top of things, because times have changed. This small pickup, the Ford Ranger, now outsells Toyota. And what's more, Ranger has more features and a lower sticker price than Toyota. Features like tachometer, interval wipers, and light group. Plus, Ranger's got a fuel-injected engine. And to top it off, Ranger has a 6-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. Toyota doesn't. Sorry to burst your bubble, Toyota. But Ranger's on top now.
Now, during Ford's Leadership Celebration, get $500 cash bonus on new Rangers.
This week, he's a patient in a padded cell. Next week, he'll be impersonating a rich psychiatrist in Beverly Hills. Dan Aykroyd.
You are the strangest shrink I've ever met.
Walter Matthau.
I finally found a place I fit in as well as I do the Nut House. Beverly Hills.
The Couch Trip, rated R. Special sneak previews Saturday, January 9th.
Hi there. You looking for Mr. Right?
Give this guy a light.
Wow.
And Bud Light here.
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste. Because everything else is just a light.
Thanks. Keep the change.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Bud Light, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Everything else is just a light. By Allstate. For home, auto, and life insurance, you're in good hands with Allstate. By Alamo Rent-A-Car. There are over 4 million miles of roads in America, and with Alamo, all the miles are free. And by GTE, Telecommunications, consultant to Super Bowl 22. 12:47 to play. Jack Trudeau, the Colt quarterback, tries to stay warm while Kosar operates. And he has the Browns down close again. They lead this playoff game 21-14. Biner, with a season-high 80 yards rushing, gets a couple of more on a 2nd and 5 play. The Browns used all their timeouts. Yeah. Right now, it doesn't seem like a major factor. They have the lead and are driving for more, but it could be.
All 3 of those timeouts basically wasted, too. Double motion by Slaughter and Brennan on the last play resulted in the timeout. 2 timeouts called as the Browns were about to score the last time.
The defensive coordinator, George Hill, calling out the defenses as now the Browns string out the Indianapolis defenders. 4 wideouts in the game. 3rd and 2 for the first down. 3rd and 5 for the touchdown. Kosar dumps it off. Biner has it. And he is knocked down at the 5. Didn't appear to get the first down. We'll see.
Cody Rison, the offensive tackle out there to try to help out, but a great job by defensive back Mike Pryor to get in Ernest Biner's way. They're going to send on Matt Barr for a field goal. Once again, Art Modell sitting on the edge of his seat. Almost. 4th down in inches. I agree with this call. Take the 3 points. It allows your team some breathing room. The
commissioner of the National Football League, Pete Rozelle, is here today. Pete positioned in an end zone box.
Any seat in this place is good today.
Kerry. Barr drills the field goal, and the Browns extend their lead now to 24-14. They held off the touchdown drive, but the Colts must come back from 10 down.
Car and Driver calls it one of the 10 best cars in the world. Road and Track calls it one of the 10 best values in the world. We simply call it Ford Taurus.
Winning the world over. You're winning. Have you been behind the wheel? Winning the world over. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Because Citicorp understands the drive to succeed, to do more than just get by, we've become the nation's largest financial services company, already helping 1 in every 5 American families, with more student loans, more home mortgages, more MasterCard and Visa cards than any other company. Citicorp and Citibank, we'd like you to get to know us better. Citicorp, because Americans want to succeed, not just survive.
Okay, honey.
Can you tell who hasn't had their Kellogg's Bran Flakes?
Hang in there, honey.
Well, some people feel a little sluggish if they're not eating a balanced diet.
Oh, boy, am I sluggish.
Kellogg's are the only bran flakes with fiber and a full day supply of iron to help balance your diet. And that's one great way to help fight that sluggish feeling. So maybe you can tell who hasn't had their Kellogg's Bran Flakes
Great shot, honey.
and who has. Kellogg's Bran Flakes, the fiber and iron cereal.
Tuesday on Crime Story, the battle for the Moulin Rouge traps Torello's French. He was murdered. And a lover holds the key. She's our only way in. Crime Story, Tuesday.
The American Conference playoffs continue tomorrow at Denver's Mile High Stadium with the Broncos, again with the best record in the AFC, will be on the home field to play the heavily underdog Houston Oilers, whose coach Jerry Glanville says we're going to San Diego. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen will be there to call the game. NFL Live will lead off the day. That's tomorrow on NBC Sports. As right now, the kickoff by Johnson. Lee Johnson is squibbed downfield. Linebacker Dave Aarons picks it up for Indianapolis. And he, a former high school fullback with both arms on the ball, takes it to the 38-yard line.
On to this point, the big play in this game after pressure by Eddie Johnson in the third quarter really causes Jack Trudeau to bounce the ball up in the air. He'd like to have it back. Felix Wright comes up with the interception. Mark Harper comes up with the interception. The Browns go 86 yards to score on that turnover, and now have a little breathing room.
Jack Trudeau, in just his second year in the National Football League, called on to start this season when the injured Gary Hogeboom could play no more. With all the pressure on him, he's got to throw to bring Indianapolis back, and throw he will on first down. Dickerson swings out. Trudeau stands in, and he almost throws an interception to Clay Matthews. Trying to fire a fastball between linebackers back in zone coverage. Eddie Johnson also had a play on the ball. The intended receiver was Matt Bouza, but it wasn't close.
Now, the one thing that Jack Trudeau cannot do here is get impatient. There's still 10:56 to go in the ball game, and you can see the Browns defense dropping back, total zone. Eddie Johnson just reading the quarterback's eyes. Matthews almost there to make the interception. Trudeau's got to keep his cool here. He's had an awful good day. Move the chains. Stay with the same game plan. Plenty of time for Indianapolis.
Very well played game. Despite the cold, only one turnover aside. Each quarterback with an interception. Trudeau pump faking, now throws, and he is almost picked off by no one other than Dave Pazzulli, the nose tackle who dropped that. Bill Brooks was the intended receiver. So now the heat's really on, despite the cold day, on Jack Trudeau as he has 3rd and 10 coming up.
See Pazzulli right in front. He's on Donaldson. Pazzulli, after the pass rush, drops back, gets his hands up. Whoa, he almost caught that ball. They were trying to get the ball to Boyer. The H-back right behind Pazzulli didn't work. He's had a heck of a game today replacing all-pro nose tackle Bob Golick.
They've gone to Dickerson in the past on a couple of these big plays where they needed to throw on 3rd down. Dickerson alone setback. Hand off to Dickerson. He's not going to get a thing as he's totally shut down by the Cleveland defense. Colts looking to catch the Browns in an all-out rush with a deep zone coverage, and instead, the Browns stay home and make the tackle.
Stay home is the point. Clay Matthews and Carl Harrison on the tackle. Matthews comes on the blitz. Hairston stays right in his pass rush lane. Nice idea, just didn't work.
Clay Matthews heading to the Pro Bowl, and his 10th year from Southern California makes one of the most important plays of this game. With every play and the importance of it magnified now as we start down the stretch in the fourth quarter. The Browns leading by 10 will get it back. Penalty marker down, a very high punt that McNeil takes. He's quickly down right at the 27-yard line. Jim Perryman, number 43, down to cover on special teams.
That flag is against Cleveland. They're offsides. Clarence Weathers trying to get in there. It's a 36-yard punt. You see him. He cheats a little bit here.
And he's 4th and 12, though. They still have to kick it.
But still, you make them punt it again. You're hoping for a funny bounce off of Gerald McNeil because the Colts need possession.
We got a false start on the center.
They call it on Indianapolis.
Fourth down.
Wait a minute, I don't understand this. They're going to make them punt it again. I think Marty Schottenheimer wanted the ball down here. They'll take the... Oh, it's before the ball was punted. Before the ball was snapped, therefore Cleveland has no choice. They have to take the penalty.
And so Ron Stark, the decathlete from Florida State, stands back inside the 25-yard line.
The center moved the ball, but I want to tell you something. That's one of the most common things in professional football. You see a lot of centers move the ball. That's not that unusual. The snapper is
Kevin barking down there in that pound in the end zone.
That center was Kevin Hancock, and it's not unusual to see a center pick the ball up off the ground, especially on a snap.
Sanford Dixon starting the barking movement here in Cleveland. Got the team fired up. He came back to the huddle one day, the defensive huddle barking. They picked it up. The whole town's picked it up. Dog bones all over Cleveland. Go Browns. Stark stands in, hits a long punt downfield. McNeil takes it his 24-yard line. Tries to go wide. 142 pounds, and he gets out of bounds. Orlando Lowry ran him down for the Colts. 46-yard punt. 9:47 to go, and Cleveland with a 10-point lead and the ball.
Right now, the store is just one big disaster area. The new phone system I got, no one can work it out. All my lines are on hold. The customers can't get through. I'm losing delivery orders hand over fist. That thing's got to go.
It's the right place at the right time when the right day is a state of mind. It's a feeling that's all around. The silver bullet won't slow it down. So come on in the coolest light. It's the right fear now. To the good life, yeah. Good life, yeah. So come on in the coolest light. It's the right fear now.
You know, there's nothing like a winner. That's why I'm driving this, the Advanced Big Ford Pickup. America's best-selling pickup for 11 straight years. And I got more for my money with this special model. It cost me over $1,100 less than a comparably equipped Chevy. And I really go for Ford's advanced features, like multi-port fuel-injected engines and anti-lock rear brakes. Yeah, Ford. If you don't go with a proven winner, what are you going with?
Get $500 cash bonus on new manual transmission F-Series pickups during Ford's Leadership Celebration.
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC as the nation's top seniors suit up for college football's East-West showdown. Heisman Trophy winner Tim Brown, NCAA passing king Todd Santos, and the Icebox Michael Dean Perry at the Hula Bowl. Next Saturday, college football's best and brightest are on NBC.
4 years ago, Kosar 19 to the left and Bentley 20 to the right for the Colts. were teammates and the prime movers on offense for a Miami of Florida team that won the national championship, upsetting Nebraska 31-30. Plus a week ago, the Hurricanes did it again under Jimmy Johnson. As right now, Bernie Kosar, looking to get his team to the Super Bowl, looks to run the clock. 9:35 to play. The Browns have a 10-point lead over Indianapolis.
Last 4 possessions for the Cleveland Browns. Touchdown in the first half. Touchdown to start the second half. And a field goal. There's a touchdown to start the second half off of the interception.
Both defenders will be hunting the football. Got to get it back. It was a 14-14 game at halftime. Browns have scored all 10 points scored here in the second half. And look at the reception there by Herman Fontenot, a free agent Bengal Tiger out of LSU, who came to Cleveland when one of the LSU coaches at the time, Kurt Schottenheimer, Marty's brother, recommended him for a tryout. Now Kurt Schottenheimer is one of Marty's coaches here in Cleveland, and Herman's an integral part of the Browns' success.
Kurt, a pretty good judge of talent. That's a 10-yard completion. Freddie Robinson on the coverage.
First meeting against the Indianapolis Colts, Fontenot blocked a punt of Stark, set up the Browns' only touchdown. The lights are on at Cleveland on the shores of Lake Erie. On a frozen playing field, the Cleveland Browns in command of the game at the moment, leading by 10. Back to the run, not much there on a first down carry, a gain of 2 yards out to the 46-yard line. This game is the property of the National Football League. The Indianapolis Colts and the Cleveland Browns, all rights are reserved. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cleveland Browns and the National Football League is prohibited. Dickerson can't run the ball while Cleveland has it, and the Browns looking to sustain offense, keep the yard markers moving and the clock moving. 7:45 to play and running. Second down and 7 for Kosar. Back to the run, back to Ernest Biner, who's had a sensational day, and Ernest Biner responds again with first down yardage. He got 7 yards. Have to wait for the spot. Looked like he might have it where he was originally down.
Very close. Eugene Daniel on the tackle. I do believe this is going to be close enough to measure, but it brings up a third down and short. Biner now 93 yards on 20 carries. He's been the busy back for Cleveland. Again, in case you just tuned in, Kevin Mack out with a stomach flu. This is the student body left. Biner does a great job of getting that ball upfield.
Leading contender for most valuable player honors, Ernest Biner. His workload increased when his running mate in the backfield, Kevin Mack, went out with stomach virus early in the game. Third and short. Back to Biner in open field. Ernest Biner's in a foot race. He loses the ball. Brown has a play on it, and a Cleveland Brown has the ball at the 6-yard line. So it's all breaking right for Cleveland as Herman Fontenot, following the play, alertly pounces on the fumble, and the Browns get still more yards, and they'll have it first and goal with 6:15 to play.
Colts had the right idea once Biner broke through the line of scrimmage. You'll see the tackler, Eugene Daniel, Pryor, 39. All he's trying to do is knock that ball away. Fontenot does a great job of knocking 42 out of the way. Willie Tullison picking up the ball. Great job blocking up front by the Cleveland Browns offensive line. There's Pryor knocking the ball away. Watch the block by Fontenot. Pushes Tullis out of the way and makes the recovery. Now, it wasn't fourth down, or it wasn't inside the 2-minute warning, and therefore the ball stands where the recovery was finally made.
Could nail the lid on if they take it in here. Leading by 10 with 5:25 to play. Back to Biner behind the right side of his line. Biner's down to the 4-yard line. There's a yellow flag on the field. Is it a flag or is it something thrown from the stand?
Chances are something thrown from the stand.
Right down in front of that dog pound. You get a lot of dog bones thrown at the players as they get down that area. Reiner's having maybe a career day.
He's our MVP. I mean, coming into this ball game, he was going to share duty with Kevin Mack. He has carried the load. He is the big factor in the ball game.
He did not come into the league as a celebrated collegian. Was a 10th round draft choice out of East Carolina. Browns, as you see, keeping that clock ticking. Second down and goal. Inside the 5. Reiner. Knocked down at the 2. Red Robinson, number 47, came up on the play, and also on the tackle was Dwayne Bickett and Mike Pryor.
I still don't think there's anything for Indianapolis to be embarrassed about in this performance. They have played extremely well for their first appearance in the playoffs. Just 4 members of the Indianapolis Colts have played in the playoffs, and all 4 for other teams.
And it really turned from that interception when the Colts had that long drive to open the third quarter. Looked like they were going in to break the 14-14 tie, but the interception stopped it. The Browns went right the other way and scored and have been in command since.
This time, Indianapolis takes a timeout. Oh, both. Everybody takes. Officials timeout? Oh, it is for Indianapolis. They take a timeout.
Ron Meyer, the Colt coach, who's worked a miracle in Indianapolis, turning his team around. He was described by the sports writer Jim Murray, said he's boyishly handsome, no lines in his face, but he has the eyes of the man who might shoot first. Now the scoring went, then the Browns on the long reception by Langhorne. You remember when he got up and fought his way in? The 14-7 lead. Dickerson on the touchdown catch and in close. And in the third quarter, Biner powered in from 2 yards out, and Cleveland had a 7-point lead for a third time in the game. And the field goal by Matt Barr, and that's all the scoring so far. These 2 teams have given up over the course of the regular season fewer points than any 2 teams in the National Football League. Browns only allow 16 a game, the Colts only 15-9. Now the Browns holding the Colts under the Browns' defensive average, but Jack Trudeau can't get him in the end zone while he's on the bench, and the Browns have had the ball a long time.
Very fitting that this drive, probably the last offensive drive for the Browns in this game, end up in the face of the dog pound down there where all the rabid fans sit.
Kosar putting up some big numbers. He's thrown the ball, as you see, 30 times for 227 yards, the 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. He set a National Football League playoff record when he passed for almost 480 yards against the Jets in that overtime win here a year ago.
The thing about Bernie Kosar, too, is he very seldom has 2 bad games in a row against the same opponent. A very poor game against Indianapolis this week. He was watching film at 9 o'clock at night preparing for the Colts.
Third down and goal. He might play fake the Biner here and look for one of those 4 wide receivers running zigzags in the end zone. Downfield throw, and it's a touchdown for Cleveland as Brian Brennan beat the coverage, and Kosar was perfect with that lob throw, and the Cleveland Browns are going to the American Conference Championship game again. Extended their lead to 30-14, and it's over. It's been a great year for the Indianapolis Colts, a fine season, but 1 playoff game is it. And still, they have to go back to 1971 to the Colts franchise to look to their last playoff game winner.
On the man in coverage, Terry Wright never had a chance. Never had a chance. He doesn't see this ball thrown. Bernie almost puts it underneath Terry Wright's arm. The end of the end zone does not really run a pattern. He just releases up the field, and Marty Schottenheimer and Lindy and Fonnie and the Cleveland Browns sideline. He was certainly in doubt at halftime. They have taken over control of this football game. Watch Kozar. Brennan does a great job of just acting like the ball's not coming his way. Suddenly puts his hands up, 6 points.
A relieved owner on the Cleveland side. We've been trying to spot Bob Irsay in his box. He's over there somewhere. Haven't been able to pick him out. There's only 80,040 people in the building.
Yeah. Colts, though, have taken a tremendous stride for their future. Winning the AFC Eastern Division title, the acquisition of Eric Dickerson. Next year we'll have him for 16 games. They have an outstanding defense. There are a great many pluses for the Indianapolis Colts.
Right now, they'll be out firing as they will get the ball back. Albert Bentley standing back on his 10-yard line, and the Browns will await the outcome of tomorrow's game you'll see on NBC Sports. And the Oilers meet the Broncos at Denver. Bentley to the 18-yard line, and this Cleveland team now is ripping it up on the field, in the stands. Cleveland's in celebration as Nick Miller came down to make the play on special teams.
The dogs are in to be barking now.
Serious dogs back there. Great Danes. Pit Bulls. Post-game analysis will be going to Bob Costas, Gail Gardner, and Coach Don Shula. Paul McGuire and Ahmad Rashad are here at Cleveland Stadium. And we now have 3 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the game. Don Criqui with Bob Crumpy as the day turns colder. But Cleveland is in jubilation right now. Here's an out pattern, and Eric Dickerson can't make the play.
Underthrown by Jack Trudeau. Good pressure that time by Sims up through the middle. Trudeau had to throw it a little prematurely.
It's amazing, Trump, how this game really turned. The Colts were driving to open the third quarter. After tying the game in the last 2 minutes of the first half, 14-0, looked like they were going to take the lead. Since the interception, they haven't been here.
Yeah, you're right. The 1+2 for Jack Trudeau is throughout the season. He'd only thrown 6 interceptions.
Kozar took him apart with those out patterns, those timing patterns. Newsom with 3 in that 1 touchdown drive. Trudeau in deep trouble, throws it downfield, a little avail as he gets the ball to Albert Bentley out to the 23-yard line. Bentley was inbounds, and the clock continues to run with 3 minutes and 15 seconds to play.
So close and yet so far.
They'll be back.
Just too bad that your season has to end on a loss, but that's the only way it can happen for half the teams left in the playoffs. It leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, but this is a great learning experience for the Indianapolis Colts. They know what it's like to be in the playoffs. They'll be a contender for a number of years to come with Eric Dickerson in that offensive backfield.
This game turned around fast. It was 14-14 in the third quarter. Then the Browns knocked the lights out. Kozar's passing. Mary Krause, who's had a big year, came back from full reconstruction of a knee. Former Alabama All-American. He's been a prime player for Indianapolis. Now the most valuable player, sponsored by Budweiser, and today's MVP is number 44 from the Cleveland Browns, Ernest Steiner. Budweiser will make a contribution to the United Way on behalf of today's MVP. Ernest Steiner had some day. 23 carries for 122 yards. 1 touchdown. And they threw him the ball. 4 receptions. 36 yards. And a touchdown. He opened the scoring, remember, on that 9-yard touchdown throw.
The best thing about his performance, it was a performance under duress coming into the ball game. Mack is the big running back for this football team, but Mack out with the flu. All of a sudden, Ernest Steiner was needed. He responded.
Group of Fulbright scholars with their shirts off.
I just hope neither one of those guys is the pilot on the plane that I fly back on.
Yeah.
They can be anything else.
Kosar combined in a lot of yards today. Right now, Jack Trudeau with 3 minutes to play in the game. Lobs one out to Eric Dickerson. Inside. It's out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Stopping the clock with, as you see, 2:58 to play.
Well, Don, it's interesting that Bernie Kosar has been asked for the last 10 days his feelings about not making the Pro Bowl team. Looked like he slipped on his wrist. Anyway, Bernie Kosar's response to all those questions about not making the Pro Bowl team, Bernie said Ernest Biner didn't make it. He should have made it before me. Today, Ernest Biner believed whether he goes or not, he is in fact a Pro Bowl caliber player. Like Dickerson landed on his wrist. He slipped out of bounds.
So while the most valuable Colt is at 10-2 on the sideline, the clock is stopped with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to play. A year ago, the Browns, on a touchdown pass from Kosar to Brian Brennan, you may remember, seemingly had Denver's Broncos beaten in regulation. Then came the drive that they'll never forget in Cleveland or Denver, 98 yards. Elway left, Elway right, firing the ball all over the field, and finally Denver tied the game and won it on the Carlos field goal in overtime. Cleveland still trying to come back from that disappointment.
This is a 16-yard pickup. He's uncovered out here, but when he gets to the sideline, it looks like his feet slip out from underneath him when he just steps out of bounds. So see if he lands on his wrist. He gets... Yeah, see, he puts his right hand down, and he's favoring his right arm and right hand there going to the sideline. Hope he's all right.
It's interesting, the saga. You see now he slips as he goes out of bounds and just bangs his arm, it looks like.
He gets a little push from Hanford Dixon, but yep, he lands right on his right wrist, right arm.
John Elway in that 83 draft was the first player picked by the then Baltimore Colts. Rights traded to Denver. Second player picked that year was Eric Dickerson by the Rams. Now he's a Colt. Trudeau up the middle, and Albert Bentley loses the ball at the 45-yard line with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left to play. 31-14. Cleveland in the lead and headed for the AFC Championship game, which will be in Denver. If the Broncos win tomorrow, it'll be here in Cleveland if Houston upsets.
This has been a very well-played game. Under the weather conditions, just 2 turnovers, not many penalties. We have not had a replay appeal from the officials.
Red Casson and his crew, they've done a standout job, the officials. Nothing close to controversy in that area of the game, and now a downfield throw to Albert Bentley is good for a first down. He gets the ball to the 48-yard line. The time working against the Colts now, down by a 31-14 count. Just 2:36 to play for Coach Meyer and his Colts.
Now they're going to have a replay here. I just mentioned there would not be an appeal, and I think there is a catch, so they're going to let the play stand. The umpire standing over the ball. He steps away, and we go. This is what I believe they were looking. Whoop, back to live action.
Live action it is. Straight up the middle, Albert Bentley takes the ball on a 1st and 10 carry and gets it down to the 42-yard line where Dave Pizzulli knocked him down.
Here's what the replay officials looked at. Bentley catches it cleanly, therefore no appeal.
4-man rush, hard strike. Bill Brooks comes down with the ball to the 29-yard line. Another big gainer, good for 16 yards, and it's a first down for Indianapolis as the game clock is down to the 2-minute warning.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1986. The Indianapolis Colts are losing again, this time to Atlanta. Trailing by 2 with only 20 seconds left, all they can do is watch as the Falcons prepare to kick it away. 14 straight losses for the Colts now. Hold it! The punt is blocked. Tate Randall spiked it. It's bouncing back to the 15. Eugene Daniels scoops it up and trots home. Colts win! Finally!
Sam, look at all these cans. They're worth a fortune.
Joey, instead of recycling these cans for cash, I think we should donate them to a worthy cause.
Donate? Okay, Mike. our cans. Well, I guess it's worthy cause time.
Recycle. Aluminum beverage cans today. Aluminum food containers tomorrow.
Save them for a worthy cause.
The Indianapolis Colt report card. Frankly, numbers outstanding for Jack Trudeau. Numbers missing rushing yardage for Dickerson, but look at the 7 catches on the day. And his only touchdown of the day. The one interception, the one mistake made by Jack Trudeau turned the game. That was it. And Dickerson with wrist bandaged heavily, ice on it, got the swelling. Unfortunately, he now has 6 months to recover.
Just hope it's only a bruise as Eric Dickerson goes out. Coach Schottenheimer ready to check the screen tomorrow when Houston and Denver tee it up at Mile High Stadium here on NBC Sports to see who he'll be playing in the AFC Championship game.
Now, Don, I don't think you can give Marty Schottenheimer and his staff enough credit for what they've done over the last 3 years. 3 years ago, they had 2 running backs gain 1,000 yards each. It was a brute force, fire at the line of scrimmage offense. Last year, Mack and Biner played just 7 quarters together. This year, with Mack, Biner, and Bernie Kosar, they spread it around enough to win the division championship 3 years in a row.
Trudeau going against the blitz. He's got a man down to the 2-yard line. John Waller Murray turned back upfield, makes his first catch of the day, good for 24 yards. With 1:46 to go, the Colts trying to get close. Murray didn't, unlike his counterpart, Langhorne of Cleveland, who got up and ran it in, was stopped before he could do it. Bentley is the setback. Dickerson out. Trudeau takes it. No sign.
Well, he's short of the touchdown. Back to the line of scrimmage. We try it again.
That's the game clock winding down. 1:18 to play. Bentley is the setback. Could be going right. Bentley over the top. He got it. Touchdown. Indianapolis with 1:07 to play. And it's a 31-20 game.
All he did was break the plane of the goal line with the ball. I don't think any part of his body was over the goal line. Watch once again. Now, our camera's about the 1.5 or 2 yard line. Well, he got up to his elbows in. That's enough. Points count.
So Albert Bentley gets in the end zone. He's had a number of touchdowns this year. That was his 8th rushing. He's also caught 2 pass receiving. Long drive, 82-yard drive in 10 plays for Indianapolis. Miyasuchi to put it up. Extra point is good. It's a 31-21 game, Cleveland. So we'll come back to see the Colts kick off one more time.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
What the hell?
Yeah. Get the brakes done?
Uh-huh.
You Midas-sized them?
I didn't think it mattered.
Didn't matter? Halfway up the Himalayas and it didn't matter?
Midas-size your brakes and get it right the first time.
A reminder that the executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NBC Football is Ted Nathanson. Coordinating producer of NFL Live is John J. Filippelli. Today's game was produced by George Finkel, directed by John Gonzalez. NFL Live produced by Tom Roy and Rick Diamond. NFL Live directed by Bucky Gunts and Bob Levy. Technical directors Lenny Stucker and Richard Sansevier. Replay director Kenneth Roy Edmondson. Our thanks to NBC statistician Elliot Kalb and help in the booth from John Betchkill and Pete Halbin. We're down to 1:07 to go, and Art Modell waving to his loyal fans.
The hands team now up on the field for the Cleveland Browns. Colts obviously going to go with the onside kick here. That's the Colts' only hope, is to somehow come up with a recovery on this onside kick.
They still need a 10-point play.
This is more timing than it is anything else.
It was touched by George Wansley before it got 10 yards.
Must go 10 yards for it to be a legal kick. It only went 5. Colts touched it.
Immediately following the game, a Super Bowl perspective on NFL Live is among the guests John McVay, the general manager of the Super Bowl favorite, the San Francisco 49ers, will be interviewed. Cleveland has to feel good about this. The Browns have not lost a game now since they were upset by the Indianapolis Colts December 6th. This will be their 4th consecutive win since then. 3:30 tomorrow. NBC Sports comes on the air with NFL Live, and then the Oilers and the Broncos kick it off at Denver, where Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen will call the game.
Actually, the Colts get a break here. They touched it early, so they get another chance at the onside kick. It must go 10 yards before any member of the kicking team can touch the football. They'll try it again, probably the same spot. They got it.
Might have worked.
I think
Greg Swope had the ball.
It looked like
26.
It looked like Cleveland. Wait a minute.
You might have a replay.
Well, he just threw a flag, so I don't think they can go with a replay.
Short free kick. The second short free kick belongs to the receiver. First down.
Yes, but I don't know that that's right. I think the Cleveland player let it go, and you'll see the Indianapolis Colts player catch it with one foot on either side of the line. Whoa. I'll tell you what, you could look at that forever and wonder whether that's true or not. The guy who comes up with the ball is Craig Swope. Again, is he? Well, they're going to review it. It looks like they're going to review it. This is very, very difficult to look at. Now, he must go to that 40-yard marker. I can't tell if his foot is on the line or not. It does not appear that his foot is on the line there. We're talking inches here for that to be a successful onside kick.
They're reviewing it in the press box. Art McNally of the NFL office. Here's another perspective from the end zone.
Watch his right foot. Where's his right foot? Oh, doggone it. We can't really see where his right foot is stationed. Is it on the line or is it over the line?
67 ticks left on the clock. 1:07 to play. Colts looking for possession, trailing by 10.
Let's make this point. The instant replay needs irrefutable evidence to overrule the officials on the field. The officials on the field have already made the determination that it was an illegal touch by the kicking team, and from what we've seen, I don't think they can overturn this call. It looks like his foot is across the line. His right foot is on the Colts side of the 40. Therefore, it is an illegal touch. And I believe the second time this happens now, the receiving team gets the ball. That's what Red Cashin called. I think that'll stand.
Red's about ready for that hot shower, isn't he?
I don't blame him. This is a great day to
90 players, 6 other officials.
This is a great day to flood the shower room, warm up your tootsies. As you can see, both teams in good spirits even at the end of the game. The umpire is the man in communication with the replay booth. It's Gordon Wells. Joe Gardy is the replay guy. That's Commissioner Pete Rozelle. I think Cleveland's going to get this ball at the spot where it was touched illegally by the Colts.
Now we're getting word that they're going to reverse it and that the Colts are going to get it. So they'll be firing to end the game, but they're down by 10.
Now, wait a minute. I do think you have to apply other parts of the rules of the game. If that's a reception on the sideline and a receiver has 1 foot inbounds and 1 foot out of bounds, that's no reception. Okay?
Right.
Now, across the line, I think the same applies.
Based on review by the replay official, the ball was not ruled to have been touched until it went after 10 yards. It was recovered by Indianapolis. First down and 10.
That's what they... I'm am surprised. I am very, very surprised. It looks like that right foot was back over the 40. And if you make a reception on the sideline, it doesn't count unless both feet are in bounds. I think if you make a reception on an onside kick, it doesn't count unless both feet are on the right side of the 40-yard line.
But still, the dilemma, Trump, for the Indianapolis Colts, as we can observe clearly, is that they're 59 yards from the Cleveland end zone and need 2 scores. Touchdown on the field goal just to tie it. Not going to much happen there. Al Baker comes in and sacks Hogaboom. Pardon, Trudeau. Hogaboom can't come in. He's on the sideline. Jack Trudeau hit down hard by Big Al Baker. That's how Trudeau went out earlier this year, and now Hogaboom went out for the season.
You see Baker coming around Chris Hinton.
Doesn't matter, we're told, Trump, where the feet are. It matters where the ball is.
I don't know how that can be, because on the sideline, it seems to me that the same rules have to apply. But that's what the officials are saying, that it's not where the feet are, it's where the ball is.
Al Baker, who did a lot of sacking earlier in his career, he came in here from the Cardinals, was with Detroit. He was taking no prisoners. He was hunting ahead there as Sean Salisbury, a first-year player, ready to come in the game if Jack Trudeau's unable to go, and it doesn't look like he's going to be.
Very slow getting up. He not only got hit from the back by Al Baker, he also runs into the offensive tackle, Kevin Call. It's kind of a quarterback sandwich there.
Kevin Call, a 300-pounder whose nickname is Creature, and he likes it. In the Creature contest in Indianapolis earlier this year.
He won, huh?
He was the winner.
Is that good, or is that bad?
He was quite pleased. Another big, strong-arm quarterback, Sean Salisbury from Southern California, 6'5", 210-pounder. See how far he can throw, because they needed to go the distance.
Played just a little bit in the Buffalo game late in the season. The last part of the Buffalo game. Very little NFL experience. Trudeau looks all right, but he got hammered.
So now a quarterback who didn't have time to warm up comes in as the Colts must pass the ball deep for even a miraculous finish, which is more than unlikely. Here's a good throw downfield, but the wrong side, and it's picked off. Now they really skipped off the turf into the hands of Felix Wright, who you remember had the interception that really turned this game. In the third quarter, when with the score tied 14-14, the Colts were driving for what looked like a go-ahead touchdown. Wright intercepted Jack Trudeau, and that was it. Colts haven't done much since.
Eddie Johnson with the pressure up the middle. The Browns didn't go with the blitz a lot today, but they certainly got great production off the blitz.
Both teams are out of timeouts. Third down and about 19. Luke throw downfield. Bentley has his hands on it, but can't hold on. Now we come to fourth down with 51 seconds to play.
And here's the play. This is the end of the drive to begin the second half. Colts are driven from their own 15. Eddie Johnson right in the face of Jack Trudeau. Trudeau sees it. Johnson tips the ball. Felix Wright comes up with the interception. And that's when it began to go the Cleveland Browns' way. Ball was intended for Matt Booza. That's the only turnover of the day for the Indianapolis Colts. And it took them right out of the ballgame.
Salisbury sets his team, makes sure everybody's on the same page as he's going to let it rip long. Two wide out to the right, one to the left. Here comes the rush, a four-man rush. Hard throw, it's intercepted. Picked off by Menafield, and the Cleveland Browns could get another one as Menafield takes it inside the 10, the 5, and fights in. Touchdown, Cleveland. proved to be a low-scoring game, and the Browns have now put up 37 points.
For Minifield, his first interception return for a touchdown of the season. He'll keep that football. That's a 48-yard interception return. And it's gotten out of hand.
37-21 Cleveland with the 38th point on the way off the foot of Matt Farr, up and good. 39 seconds to play, and the Cleveland Browns will kick it off again.
Salisbury tries to get this ball way down the field. Minifield standing right there. Looks like Bill Brooks, number 80, was the intended receiver, thrown way behind him.
Hey, Minifield knows where that end zone is, too. Weaving his way all the way through the offense of the Indianapolis Colts. Salisbury finally hauls him down, but he cracked the goal plane. Here's Coach Myers, it happened.
He's from the sideline, but he basically has no choice. Salisbury is the quarterback with Trudeau hurt. Certainly leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Here's the Pro Bowl selections for the Browns. They'll all go but Golick.
Browns led the league in Pro Bowl selections with 7. Colts were second with 6.
Again, ball should not have been thrown. Brooks, 80, is the intended receiver. There's some good blocking up front here for Minifield. And Big Daddy Carl Harrison chugging down there. Power run by Minifield to the end zone.
5'8" cornerback who will start in the Pro Bowl for the American Conference. Puts the topper on for Cleveland. Here's the kickoff now downfield. It is picked up by Albert Bentley at the 15-yard line. Albert with a serious problem at the 23. And with 33 seconds left to play, the Colts send their offense back out. Time for another Cleveland one, correct.
Colts selections to the Pro Bowl, a tremendous nucleus to build on. Just tremendous. A great many things to be proud of for Indianapolis.
Colts haven't had 6 Pro Bowl players since 1976 when people like John Dutton and Roger Carr, Burt Jones, George Coombs, Lydell Mitchell, and Tony Linhart were part of an AFC Eastern Division championship team.
Well, that's a while ago.
10 years since the Colts have been in the playoffs, 17 since they've won a playoff game. Salisbury dumps it off to Albert Bentley. Bentley breaks it across the 35 out to the 39-yard line. With 22 seconds to play, no timeouts remaining for either club.
They'll start celebrating for real now, Don.
It was 14-14 at the half, and the Colts looked like they were going to take the lead to open the third quarter. Then it changed fast. Salisbury to Albert Bentley, down to 1 second to play. Then do NFL Live, and tomorrow it's to Denver for the Oilers and the Broncos on NBC Sports. The winner to meet the Browns for the right to go to San Diego and Super Bowl 22.
They were 98 yards from that last year. They won another chance. Eric Dickerson does have the ice off his wrist. Certainly hope that he's all right. Appears to be moving his hand around. Chip Myers, receiver coach, walking in front of him.
Incomplete pass, and that will do it. As the Browns, heavily favored, win by a big margin. Challenge most of the way. They open it up in the second half. A playoff season for Ron Meyer, and his first full season as head coach of Indianapolis. And for Marty Schottenheimer, 3 years, 3 full seasons as head coach, 3 divisional championships, and for a second straight year, his Browns go to the American Conference title game.
And a tip of the cap to Ernest Biner. Had a whale of a game. 122 yards rushing, a touchdown receiving. He carried the load when Kevin Mack turned up ill in the first quarter of the game.
Bernie Kosar, who wanted to redeem himself from his off-showing in the first meeting, he played superbly again. 38-21 is the score. We'll be back after this.
I was knocking my head against this networking project. At Hewlett-Packard, you just don't throw a bunch of hardware and software at the problem. Suddenly, I guess if you ask enough questions...
Hey, Sandy!
You get some pretty good answers.
Sandy, what if we integrate... Are you listening?
A Big Mac attack could strike at any time.
Warning. Big Mac attack.
Mr. Jeffrey.
Please proceed immediately to the nearest McDonald's.
Watch your head!
Big Mac? All systems returning to normal.
Perhaps it was significant that a defender for the Cleveland Browns, and they had the #1 defense in the American Conference, that's what got them the division title, was the man who scored the last touchdown for Cleveland on the interception return, Frank Minifield. Now for Bob Trumpy, this is Don Criqui at Cleveland Stadium, where the Browns have won and gone to the AFC Championship game for a second straight year. NFL Live will be back with more about today's pro football action in a moment.
Final minute of the game, Sean Salisbury in for Jack Trudeau, who was shaken up on a 4th and 19 play. One of the dogs, cornerback Frank Minifield, who's headed for the Pro Bowl, picks it off, and right now he's headed for the end zone. Salisbury is kind of dragged in, got to work on his tackling technique. 48-yard return to cap a 38-21 Cleveland victory. Now they await tomorrow's winner between the Oilers and the Broncos. And this is the Budweiser NFL Report, brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. This Bud's for you. Hi, everybody. Bob Costas back with Gail Gardner and Coach Don Shula for a quick wrap-up before we say goodbye for this Saturday afternoon. And, Coach, the Colts played them very tough, but the turning point, the Felix Wright interception early in the third quarter.
No question about that. The Colts had a great drive going, and the Browns came out in the third quarter with the idea of putting more pressure on the quarterback. They were blitzing a linebacker, and on this particular play, they blitz Eddie Johnson. He puts a lot of heat on the passer. Trudeau throws it up. Felix Wright comes down with the interception. This turns it around. After that, they continued to stop the Colts. They were 3 and out on the next two series. The Browns defense in the second half, I thought, was the big story.
Kosar threw for 3 touchdowns. Ernest Biner unofficially 23 carries, 122 yards. Eric Dickerson didn't fumble, but on 15 carries, he got just 50.
Well, they controlled him, but I thought that the other key was Kosar's ability to convert on third down. He just kept coming up with the answers on third down, putting the ball on the money. Ozzie Newsome also got back into the ball game in the second half. He was shut out in the first half, but in the second half, he caught 4 balls for a lot of yards.
4 balls on that one drive for the go-ahead touchdown. You know, the one game that was missed, not talking now about replacement games, but the 1 week of missed activity entirely, Denver was to have played at Cleveland. Now, why is that pertinent? If that game had been played and if the Browns had won it, they would have had home field advantage even if the Broncos beat the Oilers tomorrow. As it stands, if the Broncos win, Cleveland's got to go to Denver for the championship game rematch. If the Oilers upset the Broncos, they're coming to Cleveland.
The reversal of last year. That was a great game in Cleveland, and Denver was the visiting team, but they made the play, the long drive at the end of the ball game that won it to put them in the Super Bowl. So now Cleveland has that same opportunity, provided all the other things go.
Gail, some thoughts on the Browns?
Well, the Browns really, Bob, had been fighting the reputation of folding when things were on the line, and I think that from the beginning of the season, from the preseason, they felt very much that they had a lot of things to prove this season. Therefore, it was important for them today to be able to adjust to the fact in their heads that they had a real rough time against the Colts in Cleveland earlier in the season. They were terrible offensively. Bernie Kosar had his worst day as a pro. And they seriously had to deal with adjusting to all of the mental problems that they've been having. And I think that Kosar very much showed that, as has historically been the case for him, he is able to perhaps have a poor performance against a club, play them again, come back and adjust and do the job, which he did today.
The amazing thing about Kosar, he's about a week to 10 days younger than Vinny Testaverde, who succeeded him at the University of Miami. Had he stayed for his full eligibility, this would be Kosar's rookie season. Now in his third year, He'll be in the conference championship for the second time, and they've won 3 division titles.
Mm-hmm. Another thing I think that was significant today is that they have had a problem all year, the Browns have, with their running game. They were 21st in the league in rushing. They finally started coming on the last about 3 weeks of the season. Today, Kevin Mack doesn't feel well. He's out of the game, and Ernest Biner was able to pick up the slack, and he was a tremendous asset to them today.
122 yards rushing, as we said, plus a touchdown reception and a scoring run for Ernest Biner in perhaps the biggest game considering the circumstances of his NFL career. We'll come back and have reports from the locker rooms next. The Browns move on with this divisional playoff victory. Let's go to their locker room. Ahmad Rashad is there with 2 of today's heroes. Ahmad?
All right, Bobby, here in the Cleveland Browns locker, a happy Cleveland Browns locker room, where they take another step to your goal to win the championship. Bernie, you know, it was like two different games. The first half, you were a little bit off with the timing of your receivers, but the second half, you came on strong.
Yeah, it took us a while to get adjusted out there, and they have an excellent defense, and we thank the Lord for the gifts He gave us out there today, but quite frankly, we expected to go out there and play good and win the game today, and we're not satisfied with just this game. We got a couple steps ahead of us left.
Well, a nice business-like attitude, because in the third quarter, you guys really turned it on.
Yeah, we needed to. They had a nice drive to start out the third quarter. Our defense came up with a big play, and then I thought it was time for the offense to take over and make some big plays.
What about this pass here for the touchdown?
Well, we were going to run the ball and just try to keep the clock moving, but they came up in a blitz look, and they bump and run the receivers, and Brian did a good job of beating them at the line.
And the pass was right on the money, I might add. Now, the workhorse on this football team today, Kevin Mack goes out, and you end up being the workhorse. How do you feel?
Well, I feel pretty good about it. You know, I usually don't have the opportunity to run the ball like that in this offense. My role is to do a little bit more blocking, to catch more passes. But when I get that opportunity, I like to take advantage of it.
It seemed to me as the game went on, you started to wear that defensive down. Run started to break open for you.
That's true. The offensive line started really matching. They have been rushing BK all day, so I'm sure they were a little tired. And when they get in that situation, we like to really match on it.
You got a little help from Herman Fontenot on that one long run where you fumbled.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad Herman was in the area there. On that particular play, we had talked about being a championship football team before that, and we really needed that one.
Now, here's the play where you broke open for it. Here, you thought you were going to go all the way here, didn't you?
Yeah, I feel pretty good right there. Then I got sort of raggedy. My feet started going in different directions, and the guy came in and made a good play.
Well, you must have, the last time you guys played the Colts, you had a fumble on that 4-yard line. Yeah. Was that going through your mind today?
Well, last week it was. I try not to let that, discourage me or anything. It would have distracted me, so I just went out today, tried to relax and play good ball.
All right, congratulations to you. And like I say, the Browns are not just happy with this one. Their goal is to go to the Super Bowl. Let's go back to you, Bob.
Get well soon, Mom.
Or whatever. Thanks, Ahmad. You saw Bernie Kosar's impressive numbers. A lot of people thought the Colts would be better off with Hogaboom. Trudeau was outstanding in defeat. 21 of 33 and a couple of touchdowns. We'll be back. It appears that the Colt locker room is still closed. We don't think we'll be able to talk with Coach Meyer or any of their players, but for some final thoughts, let's go to Paul McGuire. Paul?
Thank you, Robert. It says authorized personnel only, and I'm not authorized. We talked to Ahmad and I at the half about, hey, if the Colts take the opening drive in the second half and move the ball down and score, it would put Cleveland in a bind. Obviously, that didn't happen because they had a turnover, the interception. Cleveland took advantage of it. Once that happened, the Browns went right down the field. Trudeau I thought he had a magnificent game the first half. The second half, the Browns finally made an adjustment, rushed him. Here is the interception. And, Bob, once that happened, you could see the momentum of Cleveland take over, and the Colts were just down at that point in time. Robert?
All right, Paul. Can we still hear him? And can he still hear us? One
Yes,
question to you. Tomorrow, sure. Oilers-Broncos. You have any preliminary thought?
Yeah. I keep telling you, the Oilers are a good football team. They are so relaxed. I expect this team to go out there and win the football game.